Hi. Yes, I'm feeling a bit well. Today's live is going to be a bit different. It's not going to be the e-files. Um, some survivors of a creator reached out to me, and they really wanted me to host a live for them, because they wanted to come forward about a creator who had caused a lot of harm for them. And as you know, on my platform, I always put survivors first. And I happily said that I would offer up my platform for them to tell their story. And so today, it's going to be about them. And then tomorrow we're going to do the e-files as well. I think one thing that is incredibly important is when you're going through these e-files and we're talking about the importance of listening to survivors and listening to people who have been victimized by harmful people, I think it's also very important to implement that in your day-to-day life, right? So it's always important to implement that in your day-to-day life instead of saying, oh, well, I wish I could have done something or whatever it is, right? So this is me trying to implement it on my day-to-day life as well. That's precisely why I am offering up my platform to these women. So please, please, please do share the live, like the live. I'm going to come back tomorrow to talk about the Epstein files. But for now, I'm heavily focusing on the women who did reach out to me. So let's wait for them to come here. Sister Covey, always holding people accountable and going out. Thank you. Thank you, Goldie. If you have any experiences, you can definitely come up too. I'm opening up my platform. Not only to the people who reach out to me, but also to other folks who maybe have experiences with this particular individual who I think is very harmful. So yes, we'll wait in until the people come. Women and femmes, by the way. Okay, Goldie. Women and femmes. King Money, you're abusive. You are abusive, King Money. Why would I platform you? Cassie, thank you, Cassie. So as I just mentioned again, I will be addressing the Epstein files tomorrow. For today, I specifically am holding space for a couple women and femmes who reached out because they really wanted to talk about the harm that was caused to them by this specific creator. And so for that reason, today the live is going to be about that. So please, please, please still do support the live though. Waiting for them to request. Please like the live and share the live too. Hopefully it gets to as many people as possible. So I'm just waiting for them to request. Okay, there we go. Okay, there we go. I don't know how many people are going to show up. So, I mean, Callie, I think your mods, it would be best to just let up the people who are involved, who you know are involved.
Yep, I definitely will help with that.
Okay, perfect. So we'll just kind of like the live, share the live. Everybody, please, please, please. This is incredibly important when we are talking about people who have been caused harm, which I've been doing the past week. I think it's also important to implement that in your day-to-day life. So please do support the women and also the femmes who are about to come forward and share their experiences today about this particular individual who was on my background. By the way, this person used to be a mutual of mine, and I did not know how problematic and harmful this person was, and that's just mostly because I never really joined their panels. I just knew them from afar. They used to say hi. He used to say hi to me. That's all. But I recently found out that this person actually is incredibly harmful, is incredibly abusive, specifically targets women of color and femmes of color too. And so for that reason, that's going to be the live today. So, yeah, so whoever wants to start can most definitely start.
Hey, I'm sitting the live out to people. But since we already have almost 200 people in here, wow. I guess I'll go ahead and kick this thing off. First, I want to say this live is intended just to raise awareness so that less people are adversely impacted. This person likes to go live really frequently every single day and advertises his space as a safe space for Black, Brown, and Indigenous people, but especially women. And so that is very misleading, right? It lends itself to kind of having you step into a space believing that this person's well-intentioned and that you're less likely to be harmed, right? That you're dealing with a host that actually, cares about your specific marginalized demographic. Unfortunately, that is just not true. And I say that as somebody who had an interaction with him several years ago, and it just got weird, but nothing really harmful happened to me. It was just a strange interaction, and I decided to chalk it up in 2025 because this person came back and apologized to me, and I was like, well, I'll give the benefit of the doubt here. Mistake. So it started out in 2023. I encountered this person. They were lamenting about something that happened to them in their personal lives and saying that they needed assistance. Like legal assistance. I am not an attorney, but in the subject matter area that he was discussing, I do have a lot of experience from a regulatory perspective and healthcare perspective. So I offered to help him. After having done that and kind of developing some rapport with him just off to the side, off of the app, with only the intention of trying to help him with this issue. I was very green at TikTok at the time that I initially encountered him and made this offer. I would not do this in this day because I've learned a lesson. But at the time, I didn't, I was very green to TikTok. So I walked him through what, he needed to do. And he, we had a rapport from there. So occasionally he would reach out to me and stuff. At one point, he articulated that he had a huge crush on me and all of this stuff. Oh, but you don't date men. And we had this back and forth. I'm like, I didn't say that I don't. He's like, well, you have a rainbow in your bio and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, that can mean a lot of things. And I'm, queer, but I didn't say that I don't date men. I guess he thought that that was going to get me to respond differently to him or something, but I just said, oh, really? After that, he kind of just disappeared. He didn't call, he unfriended me, I guess, because I didn't respond back to him the way that he wanted to. And here's how I reached that conclusion. Because later on, 2025 comes around and he eventually kind of cops to having disconnected from me, for romantic reasons. Now he kind of skirted away, but he He kind of skirted away from the real reason, but he said it was because somebody was in his life and they were really jealous of me. It was a strange excuse, but whatever. He eventually like apologized and stuff, and I just moved past it. Whatever. Fast forward into 2025, I'm on his panels. He's apologized multiple times for disconnecting from me. So I'm like, okay, whatever. I don't really care. I wasn't trying to date him, so it didn't matter. Um, and we're on his panel, just trying to make it like more productive. He told me he wanted my input. He told me he wanted me to help him host. He wanted, I just think you would be a good co-host, and it's better when you're there. And he's sending me messages all the time, telling me how great I am and how much better it is when I'm in the space and this and that and the third. But little did I know, and now mind you, we are flirting at this point. I'm not intending on it to really go any further than this, but we have had like flirtatious stuff on the lives and joked and said we're going to run off to Mexico and get married and things like that. But offline, when he's made comments or asked me why I don't take him seriously, I'm just like, okay, you're interested in everybody on TikTok. It's your own personal dating app. So yeah. But I wasn't interested anyway, but that was the kind of excuse that I gave. And then I frequently would say things like, oh, I'll think about it or whatever. And I would kind of play it to the side whenever it came up. Needless to say, fast forward, he starts kind of having negative dialogue about me to other people while he's simultaneously still like love bombing me in my comments, or not my comments, and well, actually it was in my comments on TikTok, but via like phone voice notes and things like that. But he's going to other people and telling other people that he can't stand me, that I'm trying to take over his platform. Now, mind you, he was telling me to come into his space. He was telling me that he wanted my participation in his platform, that he wanted me to co-host with him, even doing things offline, like, going and talking to people in the community and stuff like that. So I did not, force my way into his orbit. I already have a platform of my own, so I don't need to take over anyone else's, right? But anyway, so that's what he was saying. He also went on to weaponize a very personal situation against me. So I had told him around the holidays, guys, this is hard for me. Around the holidays, he kept asking me, are you okay? What's going on? What's going on? Because my mood clearly shifted, and I told him, the holidays are really hard for me. A lot of people in my family have passed on, and the anniversary of my brother's self-deletion is December 26th. And I told him that I had been really depressed and that I needed to basically lay off because I'd started kind of drinking, and I basically said, like, I know I'm tripping, I need to quit because, I'm just depressed or whatever. So he used that. He went to someone in our group and told them that I was an alcoholic. He weaponized my trauma that I shared in confidence to diagnose me. This is insane, y'all. This is coming from a man who is an admitted substance user / in recovery, allegedly. But he weaponized that weak moment in time against me when, as a friend, I told him that I was not taking good care of myself in that moment. So that was really, really upset, right? He also made up a story to call me a transphobe. Yes, a transphobe. So he took a real story, a real conversation that we had about dating and about attraction and about like who we're interested in. And he manipulated that to make it sound like I was being transphobic, because he told me he had gone on a date with a trans woman, And we were literally having a conversation about who we're attracted to. Um, and I said, okay, so what does this mean for you? And he's like, what do you mean? I was like, well, do you consider yourself straight? Do you consider yourself bi? Are you attracted to, like other people who identify as men? Like, what's he took that, and mind you, not in this conversation. He didn't go, hey, Callie, like, that doesn't feel right to me, or what do you mean by that? Or he took that and ran with it to someone else and told them that I was a transphobe and left out all the additional context of the conversation in which I talked about my own sexuality, how I kind of explored who I'm attracted to and how I preferred to label my own identity. And he weaponized that. He went to the only person like in our kind of group that frequented his space, who was part of the trans community, who's non-binary, and said, oh, Callie's a transphobe, leaving out all of the other like color to this conversation to make it sound like I like belittled him or something for dating a trans woman, which is not what happened. And even if he felt that way, I really feel like you should have corrected me. You should have said, hey, I didn't like the way you asked that, or why did you, say XYZ? Like, I would have listened. We would have had a conversation, and I would apologize if I'd like done something wrong. But that's not what he did. He took it and ran and just called me a transphobe. And the list goes on. This person is also someone who was accused of stolen valor in 2018. I have the documentation for that, but he was writing tweets from an account on Twitter claiming that he was a veteran, an Army Ranger of 10 years, that he'd been deployed 6 times, allegedly. And he had someone on there do a Freedom of Information Act report and post to a website that is directly dedicated to outing people doing stolen valor, militaryphonies.com. And they outed him as somebody who's never served in the military and certainly wasn't an Army Ranger and had no background. He said he was a POW for 16 days. Thank you, Tiff. Just to gain clout online. And at that time, he was going by Jesse, by the way. Then he transitioned over into TikTok and started calling himself Jesus, which is his given name. But he was calling himself Jesse for ages. And white people, according to him, named him that, started calling him that, which is hilarious considering this man bashes white people all the time, even though he was with a white woman for over a decade. Okay, up until recently, and still sleeps with white women and brags about it, because he slept with a white ICE agent's wife, a white woman. And when checked about how misogynistic that was for him to brag about, by myself and one other person, he got very angry and ended his life. So, I mean, the list goes on, but the man is a liar. There's a lot of other types of manipulative, like abusive things, but I really feel like he did what he did to me because he wasn't getting what he wanted back romantically. I'll say this and then I'll hand it over. Finally, last but not least, this man invited me to a winery not 3 weeks after he told someone in our group that I am an alcoholic. Now, mind you, I was struggling for a period of time due to dealing with reliving some trauma. So he made that up, weaponized that, and then personally to me, invited me to a winery near his home and sent me maps of how close the winery is to his home. Now, y'all hear me out.
Callie,
Y'all hear.
can I clarify one thing? So,
Yeah.
by the way, to the newcomers here today, I'm offering the space for all these people who are on the panel to share their story about this particular individual who was a very, very abusive man who pretends to create a safe space for women, specifically, especially women of color and femmes of color as well. But he does that to basically lure them in and then be abusive towards them, right? So
Mm-hmm.
that's the space I'm hosting. But Callie, I have a question. I have a question. So you're
Mm-hmm.
saying that this man used your trauma, weaponized it against you to claim that you were an alcoholic, lie on your name to other people
Mm-hmm.
to isolate you, and then after doing that, invited you to a winery.
Yes, because I did not know that he was doing this at the time, right? I didn't find out until a bit later, but the accusation that he made about me was about 3 weeks before he invited me to a winery. So, why are you inviting somebody to a winery if you believe them to be an alcoholic? Either you're trying to take advantage of them, right? Or you're enabling them, but either way, this is harmful, or you're just lying, right? So, like, which one is it? Um, so yeah, he absolutely did that. And again, I have the maps in my phone that he was sending me, and it clearly says to Napa, like, and he mapped the course to Napa from his home and told me how close it was. Now, mind you, we were verbally speaking on the phone when he was doing this, how close it was to the train station. The train station was to his house, and that Napa. Now, mind you, I'm not going to his house, okay? So none of this was ever happening. Your girl didn't buy no tickets nowhere, nothing. We were just having a conversation, and he was like, "Hey, we should do this. We should do that." And I'm like, "Yeah, yeah.
So
That
to
that.
clarify, I'm so sorry. I'm so
Go
sorry. I
ahead."
just want to clarify again, right? So this person who basically tried to isolate you from all the other women and femmes at
Yep.
the same time, who knew that you shared or you trusted like him with some of your traumas, decided to invite you to a winery and tried to get you to their house.
Yes. And thank you, Davina, for
Mhm.
reminding me. Yes, he also repeated this, and Davina said yes. He said it in a live too. He said the part about going to a winery and stuff. He said that part too on a live. So I'm not making this shut up. Like, there were people there. So why would you, behind my back, be telling people that I'm an alcoholic, but in the same breath inviting me to a winery?
Now,
Very,
why do we think he tried to get you close? Like he tried to get you to visit a winery next to his house.
yeah.
I wonder why. Continue, Callie. Sorry.
Yeah, and he was asking me, "Oh, if I pay for you to come and visit, would you come out here? I could get you a hotel, all this stuff." I mean, I don't know what money he was going to do that with, but we'll get to that in a moment. I was like, I'll think about it. I never like said, "Yeah, sure." No, I was just like, so whenever the conversation would shift to something more serious, I was kind of like, "Yeah, I'll give it some thought." And I literally have the voice notes of him like asking me like, why don't you take me seriously? And I care about you so much and I like you so much. To Oh, by the way, to the very same person that he's claiming that I'm an alcoholic to and that I was a transphobe, he also told these two other people that he had so many feelings for me and he wanted to be with me so bad and all this stuff. Um, why would you want to be with an alcoholic transphobe? Like, explain that to me, because I wouldn't want to be. I mean, just truth be told. That seems crazy. That seems like a really that seems like an opportunity for some therapy, not for a relationship. Like, you know, but I digress. I'm gonna button this up. I'll add
Can
some
I
color.
ask you, Callie, before we go on to the next person? So when he was talking to you, did he tell you things like, "Oh, these other men are shit. I'm a good guy. I'm here for you. If you want to talk to me,
Yes.
you can
I have
feel comfortable to talk to me."
countless voice notes of this man telling me, "I'm here for you. I don't judge. I'm blah blah," like trying to get me to open up to him repeatedly.
Wow. So basically, again, men who do that to the chat uh, are men who prey on women they think are probably vulnerable, very predatory, and they try to gain their trust, isolate them, and abuse them, right? Thank you, Callie. Was
Oh,
there?
oh, last but
Mhm.
not least, he was trying to encourage me. This man offered to have me move into his home multiple times. Mind you, I've never met this man in person in my life. Okay. We've never even FaceTimed. Okay. I've never, ever, ever done it like besides talk to this person on the phone. That is it. That is all. This man
Wait,
tried to
move
get me.
in with you? Like
Yes. He was like, you can just move in with me. Like, you don't have to pay rent or anything. He was like, you could just move in here. I kid you not. I swear to God. I have like countless voice notes and messages to that effect. So when you said isolate, that sent up so many red flags. Like the love bombing, I was like, yeah, this is a no for me. Like it was just giving red flag. So no, weird, isolating, and certainly smear campaign behavior
Mhm.
that is common with people that are very narcissistic.
By the way, his username, y'all, are is right at the bottom. If you see that at Malvada Cultura, that is his username. So I plastered his username right there so everybody can know this is a warning to all the women and femmes out there. Um, because again, the reason as to why I'm hosting this live is to share the stories of these women and femmes who are on the panel, but also to give further warning to women and femmes who might be following him so that he doesn't prey on them too. So that's what I wanted to say. But whoever else wants to talk, you can definitely talk.
Um,
Well, oh,
I'll go
sorry.
next because I have to drop. Oh, I don't mean to interrupt you. You can go. You can go, love. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt you, baby.
No, if you have to leave quickly, please, by all means, go ahead.
You,
I just wanted to
you
check on Red Velvet.
okay? Okay.
Well,
Southern, thank you for sharing that story. I'm so sorry you experienced that, and my condolences. I've experienced that, and I know you're not alone with with what you're going through. With me and him, um, I felt completely safe in his space because he calls out anti-blackness in the Mexican and Latino communities, which I'm happy to do that 100%. So I felt very safe there with him. I kind of picked up that I think he was doing it to be more harmful than anything because he accused me of being that because of the anti-blackness and the pro-Palestinian spaces, which is why I left. I left a lot of spaces because of that, and I announced my departure very loudly, and I made it clear that's why. So he went on to DJ Soulchild's panel, which is my friend, and when he went up there and he was saying, "Oh, Gold is, she sits in these anti-black spaces and she's friendly with these people and she's secretly anti-black." Um, I went up and I was loud about it and I was angry. And he had a smear campaign and he was doing this on a lot of panels, trying to paint me out as being someone who is secretly racist, which to me is that those are fighting words when for me, right? And so when when Gentil had heard that, he pulled me up on the panel immediately and we had duked it out. And because this person looks and feels like a safe space, people were believing that until and I don't want to say her name because she's not here, but I'm sure she'd be fine with me sharing the story. Sajida came up and Sajida shared a story with him that he had gone and made a live about Smitty and called Smitty a grifter and told Smitty, basically accused him of using our plight to make money. And that is absolutely ridiculous because this is something this person does. He does this. He speaks about the anti-blackness and he speaks about these things and makes and tries to make money off of it as well. And that was my experience. And what set him off, what got him upset with me was that I had gone on another brother's panel by the name of Ricardo, who also calls out the anti-blackness in our communities and speaks against it and educates. And I had posted a video on my panel about it, me on my page about me being on Ricardo's panel. And instead of addressing Ricardo, this person was starting speaking badly about Ricardo in the comments and starting drama. And all I replied to him was, why don't you and Ricardo address this in the DMs? There's no need to address it on a woman's panel that has nothing to do with it. So then he blocked me and went on this campaign about me being anti-Black. And people were coming to my DMs in the Black community that were saying, this isn't true. We know this isn't true, but this is what he's saying. And it was drama. And the way that he moves. He wants to isolate women and he wants them to be attacked if you do not agree with what he believes and what he says. And that is a very harmful space to be in. And so that was my experience. And I know it's not I'm just um Southern. I can't believe you experienced that with this man. I'm so sorry. I'm here for you if you need. I'm here if you ever need anything.
Oh, thank you, Goldie. And I'm glad you brought that part up about the isolation and stuff because he did try to do that. He would get mad about and start raging out about people who we followed, whose spaces we went into. He tried it with me several times, and I flat out told him both online and off, I don't move like that. So unless you have some information that you can present to me that demonstrates that this person is harmful, then my mutuals are my mutuals, because ultimately, like your interpersonal dynamics with somebody, just simply not liking them is not enough. I'm gonna like who I like. You can like whoever you like. My mutuals are my mutuals. But he tried to make accusations about several of my mutuals and never proved it. And I asked for the information. One time he asserted that one of my mutuals of 3.5 years called him an N-word lover and claimed that he had witnesses and documentation to support it. And when I asked for it, he never brought that to me. I went to the person, told them what they were accused of, and they were like, Callie, you've known me for 3.5 years. If he's got a video, he says it happened in a live, tell him to bring the video. If he doesn't have a video, tell him to bring the witnesses. Somebody else had to be there. It supposedly happened on a live, right? Yes, ma'am. Okay, then ask him to bring bring a witness and I'll address it. I brought that information back to him. Guess what he did? Had nothing. I'll look into it. I'll find it. I think I have the video. I know so and so has the video. I'll bring it back. After that, he never mentioned it again. But he did
Yeah, he
absolutely.
does that. He does
Yep.
that. He did that to Chris in the comments. My girl, Kiss Chris is in the comments. She spoke on it too. He tried to say she was being anti-black in the comments, and she absolutely was, absolutely 100% not. She was just course correcting him because he uses that word like putty in his hands, and that can be harmful when we are working on our community, and there is anti-blackness in the community and we have to call it out. That's our job. That's our duty. We can't do it when there's men like him who use it and weaponize it when it's not there. And he does it to align himself and to get closer. And what he did to you, that's harassment. That the harmful is just a nice word to call it.
It's
He
defamation
tried
of
to ice.
it's
Yes.
defamation of character is what it is, which is why we're here today, because ultimately what you're not going to do is defame my character. And I've known a lot of people here, including Covey, for a good long minute, and have talked to a lot of people that are present here, even offline, and developed relationship with them offline. And what he was saying about me is not my character. And calling me a transphobe, that's not my character. Now that's not, I'm a cisgendered woman. Is it possible that I could say something that's offensive and need course correction? Absolutely. But being intentionally harmful, being transphobe, absolutely not. That's not my character. And nor do I believe that that's what transpired in that conversation. I believe that he needed something to weaponize and was desperately searching for something to weaponize. So thank you for validating that, Goldie. And I'm sorry, I've been talking too long. There are other people here.
No, never. Don't ever apologize for sharing your experiences. Thank you very much. I'm so sorry that was even said to y'all and done to y'all, Callie, and Goldie too. I whoever wants to go next, whether it is Bella or Red Velvet, of course, please take up as much space as y'all want.
I I want to say that this is a very what happened with me is very, very deeply personal, and I understand that it's easy for people to judge. I also want to say yesterday was my birthday, so I've been trying to have a very calm, peaceful weekend. So I am a little nervous, kind of.
Happy belated birthday, by the way.
Thank you so much. I'm very nervous to say this because I don't want my peace disturbed, but I think it's relevant. Well, people need to know just exactly how harmful he is. And I might cry and I might need a moment. So I've asked some of the panelists here to kind of help me, fill in gaps. Yeah, like I said, I'm very nervous. But like has already been explained, he made the space feel very safe. I am Afro Latina, and it's something that I was born in the Dominican Republic, but I grew up in southern Texas, and I'm a dark-skinned Black woman, and I am really trying to connect with my roots, and connect with whatever, and I want to teach this to my children, and so anyway, I am a widow, and I had my first child very young. My second child was born out of grape. I was graped. And so I am celibate. I have PTSD and all these things, but I do love being a mother. And like I said, it was a very safe space. He made it very comfortable. We were talking offline. We were friends, I thought. And one of the things that I have, like some of the goals I've had in my life, was I did want to have a third child before I turned 36. So, he wasted my time and I turned 36 yesterday. So I asked if he would be willing to donate and just, have kind of I don't know if I'm allowed to say that word, but I asked if he would donate so I can have a child. It is hard, especially if you go to clinics, especially as a Black woman. And I figured this way, it's somebody that I at least know a little bit, but it's arm's length, so I don't have to deal with somebody maybe trying to flip a script, whatever. He let me know that he had a vasectomy, but that he had he had saved some, and and I said, "Oh, this is perfect. We don't even have to meet in person." I asked him how much he would charge me to donate. He told me he's here for the Black and brown community. He's here for Black and brown women. He couldn't charge me that. He wouldn't charge me, of course he couldn't charge me. And I said, okay, bet, but I at least want to do something. Maybe I could help with like medical bills or, I know that this can be an expensive process. So we agreed on that. So things started moving very, very quickly. He would also tell me that, like, when I would come up on the panel, yeah, you're one of my favorites. Like, of course I've got your back. You could talk to me about anything. Please don't feel weird about this. Please don't, I want to help you, friend. I want to help you. And I said, okay, great. So he told me that he was going to the doctor, he told me there was a copay, that he's working on some sort of settlement with workers' comp. And and I said, okay, that's fine. I could pay for the copay. So I gave him the money for it. And I also asked for receipts. Just mind you, everything I did ask for receipts for, because I had already gotten my own lawyer involved so I could have a paper trail. he went to the doctor and then made something up about that he might be able to, that the sample that he had that was frozen had been there for a while, and that he might be able to give me like a fresh, I don't know. So he had to go to the doctor multiple times. And I'm nervous. I'm shaking right now. I'm sorry, guys.
It's okay. Take your
You're
time.
doing great. You're doing so good. We're so proud of you.
Thank
This
you.
is you're amazing for telling the story. This is something that's very common. We in the community, a lot of people donate so people can have babies. So this is very normal. Take your time, babe.
Okay, thank you so much. So I did give him the first amount that I gave him. I think it was about 180. Then the next time he said he needed to go to the doctor, that it was going to be 500 because they were going to do a procedure, that it was on a Wednesday, that he didn't get paid until Friday. So if I could give him the 500 and then he would give me back 250 basically. So I gave him the 500, and there are receipts. I don't know if anybody wants to pull up the receipts. We even had a contract. I never heard about the doctor's appointment again. I gave him the money. Never heard about it again. Never got a receipt. Then there were other things, because again, I thought we were in a comfortable, safe space, and I'm waiting for things to happen. He would be like, I don't have any food, or I need cigarettes, or, so I'd throw him like, $20, $10, whatever. He would say that he needed things for mutual aid. I would help him out with that. Again, not getting receipts. But in the meantime, what was happening was he would call me when I would kind of ask him, like, what's going on. He would call me. He would try and sweet talk me. He would try and, oh, I love your voice. I love it when you come on your panel, or come on my panel. And I was like, that's nice and all, but you're like, you can't flirt with me. This is not, you're barking up the wrong tree. I'm not dealing. This is why I am asking for a donation. Then it was, it became more sinister than that. It was, I would go on other people's panels, because I have my own lives and my own, things that I like to discuss. While I do like to talk about anti-racism, anti-blackness, and we like to talk about, yes, I will tell them about the bag. I also talk about other things, but when I would go into other people's lives, he would go into the lives and then he would proceed to text me and be like, well, how come you can get on this live and you can't get on my live? Or if I was on a live, specifically, there's a YT woman that I'm on her lives pretty frequently, and he doesn't like her, so he would blow up my phone. So when you're on a panel, if your phone rings, it'll pause you on the panel, and it'll take you. If you're gone for too long, it'll drop you from the panel. So he would wait until that's what it felt like. He would wait until I was dropped from the panel, and then he would stop calling me, or he'd hang up the phone. So basically, just trying to make sure that I wasn't in spaces he didn't want me to be in. He has told me stories about other creators. He did tell me about Callie. Just basically trying to. It felt like, yeah, I can't talk to them, so I don't think you should talk to them either. Type vibes. There was. I'm sorry. I'm kind of bouncing around.
It's
The
okay. Take your
last the
time.
last financial interaction that we had. He was selling a bag, or he was selling stuff on Instagram. Like, he had pictures on his Instagram story, and there was a Coach bag that was vintage that I particularly liked. And I said, I'd really, really like this bag. How much are you asking for it? And he told me same kind of spiel. Oh, I would never ever charge, black and brown women. And, like, you're one of my favorites. I love you. Of course, I'm not gonna charge you. I'm not gonna charge you for that. But I might just ask if you could help with shipping. So he said shipping was $28. I sent him the $28. I have not received the bag. I noticed that when I would disagree with him, or I would kind of call him out, like, hey, we've been kind of doing this back and forth about the doctor, or I am asking for a receipt or whatever. He'd be very, very cold to me on his panels. He would ignore me. He would like to breadcrumb, I guess, is that what it's calling? That's what it's called. He would just string me along enough to where it's like, yeah, no, I miss you. Like, you're my favorite. Why don't you come on the panel? But then he would be very like mean to me when I would come on panel. Um, he would just string me along. Oh wow! To where it's like, yeah, no. Wow.
There is an echo.
You're recording it.
No. I think the top box is an Eritrean woman, by the way, who was stuck in Libya. So she's not recording anything. I usually just let her up so that people can donate to her as well while I'm hosting the live, because she's an Eritrean woman who has a 3-year-old toddler, and she's stuck in Libya where there is an active slave trade. So that's why if anybody can gift, that would also be awesome, y'all. But continue, please, Red Velvet.
I don't know. It's a lot. It was just of all the financial interactions that we've had, he has gotten over $1,100 from me. And I do acknowledge that some of it I thought was for mutual aid. But now I'm even questioning that. And he would talk about my situation and he was embarrassing me in front of others, just when this is a very deeply personal situation, which is why I wanted the donation. So he was telling other people about it and spinning it in a way of, like, oh, women just ask me for the weirdest things, when again, I thought it was a safe space, and I thought that I felt safe asking. I wouldn't have asked a stranger. I wouldn't have just, I'm not just going to go ask random internet people for that kind of thing. There was, I guess, towards the end of our interactions before I blocked him, I was on another panel, and he went into the comments, which I later found out he was doing it with some of the people in his Discord. And he was in the comments, like, he said my legal name, and was saying, hi, red, my legal name, I love you, have my baby. This went on for about 2 minutes in the comments, just spamming the comments. It really it's embarrassing.
Wait, I'm so sorry.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
I'm sorry if I interrupt you, because I'm asking questions. Okay, so this man would join random lives that you were on, and then would in the comments tag your username and tell you to have his baby?
And that he loved me, have my baby. He said my legal name. This went on for probably about 2 minutes. And I found out later that he was, like I said, streaming it with other people in the Discord. It made me nervous. I cried that night. Like I said, I do have PTSD. I have been abused. And so, I mean, just, I'm sure I'm missing a lot, and Straw can jump in for stuff. But, at the end of the day, he wasted my fucking time. Like I said, I turned 36 yesterday. My goal was to have my baby, 30, in my 35th year. That was just my plan. And basically wasted a year of my life. Took money from me, stalked me, essentially. I'm frightened. He has my fucking address.
Did you say he stalked you?
Yeah, he would go to lives that I was in and just be in there, and then call me and be like, "Why are you on this person's live?" And just, I don't know. It's I'm scared. I'm scared, and I'm scared because he has my address. He We were having a conversation once and about something, and I had sent him a picture of where I was at, and it has my youngest in the picture, so he has a picture of my child. uh I am very nervous about it. And doing a call out live like this where people can judge me. I get it, but I don't want anybody else going. Obviously my situation was very unique and different. I'm sure not a lot of women are doing that, but he's harmful. He's dangerous, and and people need to be aware of it.
Take
I'm
a
so
deep breath,
sorry.
Rob. It's okay, Rob. We're here
It's
for
not. It's not your fault at all. Please don't ever blame yourself. Don't ever give yourself kind of like responsibility or accountability for anything. It's none of your fault, and just know that I'm proud of you for coming forward, proud of you for telling your experience, and also wanting to basically warn other women and femmes about it too, right? So just know that take as much time as you need. If you ever want to interrupt and say something, please do so. And just know that we are all here for you, okay? And know that men like that, they specifically prey on vulnerable women or all vulnerable people in general, right? Men like this, they pretend like they're the nice guy, the good guy. They specifically prey on people they deem to be vulnerable. They try to create a safe space or try to gain your trust in order to be abusive, right? So them doing that to you has absolutely nothing to do with you. It's not your fault at all. This is how they specifically operate. Okay. Thank you, Velvet. Appreciate you.
Thanks for
Who,
letting me speak.
of course, 100%. Whoever wants to go next can most definitely speak. I think Bella, you wanted to go next probably?
I was gonna let Phoenix if Phoenix wanted
Or
to.
Phoenix, yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah, I'm willing to go. So I'm Phoenix. My pronouns are they, them. I'm only here to add to Jesus's behaviors of like manipulation and emotional abuse. Me and him were friends for maybe 3 years. I would hang out with him on his panel when I still lived in New York City. So he was the I was the person that he was telling that Callie is an alcoholic and transphobic. He would try to use me as an attack dog, and I'm a dark skinned non man. I had asked him to just talk to Callie if he was having issues with her. And during the beginning of his breakdown, I suffer from PMDD, so my menstrual is really bad. I get very violently sick, and I was still supporting him on his lives while he was attacking me in the background because I support Peyton. And so I kept asking him, like, oh, do you have a problem with the fact that I support Peyton because my community likes him? So I'm going to rock with him. I don't even truly engage with his content, but I appreciate him being on the ground. And he was just like attacking me, putting subs in the Discord. And eventually, I kind of like cursed him out and blocked him and came to all of the ladies in the group. And I found out that not only was he lying about Callie, but he lied to me about Bella and told me that, like, essentially Bella was thirsting after him. And I don't know if he was looking for me to do something to Bella, but he just kept using things that have to do with my personal life to try to make me upset with people that I was sharing space with on his panels. So for me, that was Callie gave me the perfect word, triangulation. Like he was trying to use my marginalizations to get me to attack other women and non men. And I just wanted to add that because it made me feel bad that I didn't come to these women and non-men sooner about the things that he was saying. But I thought like I was just supporting him as a friend, and the emotional manipulation that I received from Jesus as also, sorry guys, this is making me nervous. As well as him emotionally attacking me during like the worst time of the month for me. It was a lot. And I've also given Jesus money. And when I needed it back, like he just gave me like a bunch of like runaround and stuff. So like I understand Red Velvet. It was not at the same level that she was giving him money, but I have helped him. And yeah, so I just came to add to his pattern.
So this guy basically financially abused people. He emotionally abused not people, but specifically women and femmes that he deemed to be vulnerable. So he triangulated them against one another. He emotionally and financially abused people. He stalked people. And I would deem like sexual harassment too, in my opinion, allegedly, by the way, all alleged, but the way that he was coming after you and saying that he wants your baby or get whatever it is comes off very, very uncomfortable. And also to Callie, to you, weaponizing your own traumas too. So allegedly, all alleged, by the way. So this is all incredibly, incredibly disturbing. I'm not gonna lie, and the financial abusing as well, specifically of women and femmes, especially women and femmes of color as well. Bella, you had something to show us as well.
Yeah, give me 1 second. I wanted to show the screenshots first of. I'm sorry, I'm trying to take the effects off of this. There we go. Okay. So these are the screenshots of Red Velvet and the period, 7 to 8 month period time where they sent money to him. And mind you, none of these things were ever paid back. Oh, I'm sorry. Did I show something that I wasn't supposed to?
No, I think that was a mistake. I'm sorry. I think I clicked that actually, but not on purpose.
No, I just didn't want to mess anything up. Her platform's so big. I'm not trying to. But yeah, as you can see, this is the same username that he uses. These are all of the transactions that Red Velvet. So over a 7 to 8 month period of time, she sent over $1,000 to him. Mind you, none of this was paid back. The things that were sent for mutual aid, alleged. This is all alleged. He never sent any proof of mutual aid being done or anything like that. And then earlier, I know we were having trouble seeing this. This is the agreement in the contract that they signed. And again, he didn't fulfill his end of the bargain, didn't give any money back or provide sperm to the doctor. And give me 1 second, I have another screenshot.
To be fair, by the way, I just want to say, by the way, this person, his whole platform was about Black and brown unity, protecting Black women, women of color, Black femmes, women of Black femmes, women of color, all this stuff, right? So he specifically curated his platform to also target women and femmes. I really wanted to clarify that, right? So this is literally what predators do, by the way. People who are very predatory, they specifically always curate an image, or they try to get in close proximity to the people that they want to abuse. This is literally what they do. But yes, continue, please. By the way, Bella, if I may ask, how if you're not comfortable sharing, that's okay. How old are you?
I'm 25, and I was just about to touch on that. I'm
25. And how old is he?
Almost 50.
He's almost 50.
Right.
And he's writing 20-year-old femmes and girls, women, these types of messages. Crazy.
Mind you, he's
Continue.
sending these things and saying that I want him. Look, this is one of the first ones. One underneath there is another one where he sent me something. Give me 1 second. I can show the bottom of that as well.
Again, to clarify, why is a man who is almost 50 messaging women or femmes in their 20s these types of messages, especially when he is claiming to be anti-misogyn, like he's claiming to call out misogyny, he's claiming to address all of these other isms, and he's claiming to be a quote-unquote safe space for women and femmes.
Exactly. Him and I have never had any type of sexual conversation or anything that would allude to the fact that I want a relationship with him or want to be with him. I thought he was my friend. He came to me under the guise of Black and Brown unity, and that is why I came. I'm Indigenous Mexican. I do think that the anti-Blackness within my community does need to be addressed. So when I saw him doing what he was doing, I thought he was doing good work. Now, mind you, I am 25, he's 50, and would reiterate multiple times that he would never have a relationship with a 25-year-old. That's gross. He doesn't see himself, but not just myself, with other women in my age group, he also tried to hit on them and prey on them. With Phoenix, who is a non-man, femme presenting, they don't even like men, and he still tried to get with Phoenix or compliment Phoenix in a way that could be seen as harmful, knowing their, preference.
Thing as well. I'm sorry.
Yes, go ahead, Red.
One of the other things that was happening with the sperm donation and whatnot, he told me that this month he was actually going to go to Mexico, and I live in Southern California, and that so he was going to come up and that we could try and make a baby the natural way, even though I have said several times that I am celibate, and he also told me he had a vasectomy, so how can we make a baby the natural way when he apparently has a vasectomy? That was also something that he told me.
I wanted to add that he wanted to come stay at my house here in Mexico. And like he had asked me several times to come stay at my house.
Wait. I'm so sorry.
He told
Did
me
you? Yes.
Phoenix. Oh, I'm sorry. This is a new discovery for me, Covey, because I don't recall Phoenix. If you mentioned this before, then I just didn't hear it or spaced out. He told me that you offered it to him. You offered to allow him
He said
to
that to me
stay
too.
at your house.
No.
I promise my
No.
hand to God that man told me that.
No.
That to me as well.
Wow. Okay. Sorry. Just that's off.
I'm so sorry. Strong. Phoenix is your name.
Yes.
How old are you?
I'm 33. I am a
Okay.
little bit closer to his age, but I also made
Okay.
clear to him when he tried to
Mhm.
express like some attraction to me that I was not interested in that. And but he asked to come to my house. He's like, "Oh, I won't be weird or anything.
Wait.
I just need a
You
place
said
to
you weren't
stay."
interested. Hold on. I'm so sorry. You said you were not interested, and yet he still asked to come to your house.
Yes.
Phoenix.
Oh my God.
Okay, Phoenix. Phoenix, this is new information. Because why did he offer up to me that that he didn't like you like that, and you're just the homie. Mind you, I'm not soliciting this information. He's just word vomiting. But I'm sharing this now because he clearly made some sort of comment to you that would suggest that he was trying to get at you.
Yeah, he saw
Wow.
he saw my he saw my picture on WhatsApp, and I purposely come up on TikTok, hair uncombed and stuff. So when he saw a picture of me when I was dressed up to go out, he made a comment about my attractiveness, and I told him like, "Hey, like wherever this is going, like I'm not interested in it." He's like, "Well, I hope this doesn't affect me asking you if I can come stay at your house in Mexico. I won't be weird. I just need a place to stay for my
My
surgery."
God. Wait. So he proceeded to flirt with you, and then after you say you're not interested, he tells you he wants to come over to your house.
Yes.
Oh my God.
But
Because he
he
was
was
coming here for a surgery to
But he was
Mexico.
lying to everybody because there's even some of our people that were in our chat and stuff, like Os in the comment section that said that he told her as well that Phoenix offered to have him, and I remember this distinctly because he told me the same thing, offered to allow him to stay there, and I was like, wow, like that's a good friend right there because like you're gonna need some help after this surgery that he's allegedly having. He was like, "Yeah, she's the homie, or they're the homie. Phoenix is the homie." And I was like, "Oh, okay." But he said, "Oh, like, he made some comment. I don't even know where it came from, but basically, like, it's not like that though. Like, we're just friends. We've been friends for a long time." But behind the scenes, he's telling, "See, this is a pattern. Like, he did this to each person with something different. He would tell them one thing and then go behind their back and say something completely contradictory to other people that were part of the same group."
I have another screenshot to further show. Sorry it took so long, but this is an audio message that he sent to Phoenix. This is another person. That's not even their real name, so that's okay. But yeah, just again talking about how he is too old for people and that I want him. From the pictures I showed you guys, there was no response to him. So I never wanted him, and I never tried to engage with him in that way or in that manner. So yeah, again, just making lies up on again, and I thought this was my friend. I thought he was doing something good for the community, and he was making rumors behind my back to another friend of mine, putting Phoenix in a very bad position with all of us. But that's what they do. They isolate. He has predatory behavior. And I called it out when I saw it. So yeah, the way that he's talking about me as if, I'm just some random person.
Wow. That's crazy. The man that they are talking about, by the way, is the man who is on my background. And his username is Malvada Cultura. It's on the bottom at. This is a man who used to be my mutual, by the way. But I didn't really go to his panels. By the way, there was a person called Tiff who came up briefly, but she dropped. I don't know why. If you want to request, please do a request. But anyways, this person used to be my mutual as well, but I didn't really go into his lives that much, right? I used to just scroll by. I thought he was supportive because he always used to talk about Black and brown unity, always used to talk about protecting Black women, protecting Black femmes, women of color, femmes of color, all those different things, right? So I was like, okay, maybe this person is a person who's trying to curate a platform to do that. But yeah, it's crazy that he specifically was targeting people. Yeah, but
I have one more screenshot of him. Sorry to interrupt you. This is his conversation or voicemail he left to Red Velvet.
Tim?
Right.
what does it say? Can you read it out, please?
It says, "Hey, blank, like, what the fuck?" Or sorry, we can't cuss on here, right? Yeah. What the
No,
F?
it's okay.
Okay. I'm so sorry. Out of everyone, friend, you, out of everyone, like, like this one actually hurt me, to be honest with you. Hit me up, please. Please hit me up. Please don't do me like this. You're the one person I want to talk to out of everyone. I want to talk to you the most with everything that's going on right now, please. And if you check that date, that is the 22nd of January, and that was right before he crashed out and disrespected a lot of his mods, and we all found out about the things that he was doing. So this is 2 days prior to that. But I feel like his incessant need to get to Red Velvet was because he knew he was wrong for taking money from her.
So I was going out of town on this day. I had blocked his previous number, and he called me from a different number. He texted me from a different number when I got off of the plane. And I wish that I just was disgusted by this point, so I had deleted a lot of stuff. But I had probably about 15 or 16 text messages when I got off the plane. I did answer at one point when I was walking through the terminal, and I said, and I was like, what is happening? And I said, I can't talk to you right now. I'm getting on a plane. And he continued to call me while we were taking off.
Mm-hmm. I just wanted to say to my chat as well, the reasons why it's very important to even address this is men like this are all over social media, right? And unfortunately, social media has made access for men like this, like just predatory people, very, very easy. Right? They're all over TikTok, all over Twitter, they're all over dating apps, right? They're really, really, really preying on people in this manner to financially abuse people, to emotionally abuse people, and also, God forbid, physically abuse people, right? So unfortunately, social media has made access to people incredibly easy. So it's very disheartening. The amount of men that I have found on social media, by the way, who actively pretend to care about women's rights, pretend to be feminists, pretend to advocate for women and femmes, and then they do that as like I don't even know, like they're like a chameleon. They're a chameleon. They're doing that not because they care about women's and femmes' rights. They do that only to gain access. And that's what's really, really scary, because now when you're interacting with somebody who is a man, right, who is claiming to be these things, it makes you wonder, wow, am I talking to like a person who's being predatory, or am I talking to a person who is genuine? Exactly, Ali, a wolf in sheep's clothing. So very, very sorry to all the people on this app and on this panel, and what they've experienced. Is there anything else that any of you would like to share? By the way, his name, Malvada Cultura, is at the bottom. He used to be my mutual too. And I blocked him immediately after I saw the lie. I heard about the stuff that he did. Immediately blocked this person, by the way, because do not want any type of person like this anyone near me. By the way, about predators, they're always in close access to the people that they want to victimize. A lot of P3DOs work around children. A lot of men or people who prey on women and femmes kind of work in arenas or whatever it is around these women and femmes as well. So and the stuff that they've been saying, by the way, has been corroborated because they have shown screenshots as well. But anyways, did anybody else wanted to say anything?
Oh, go ahead, Kelly.
No, I go ahead, Phoenix.
I just wanted to add one more thing. While Bella was doing her search on Jesus, there was an email that popped up that has a part of my real first name in it, because Jesus knows my actual real name, and he knows that I have like a super huge fear of my real name coming out online, because he knows that I was doxed on Facebook by YT supremacists like 4 years ago. And he literally made an email address like with part of my first name in it. And that in itself was just crazy to find out that he did. But I just remembered about that. That was the last thing I wanted to add.
That's kind of connected to my last comments. Like, he told people in our group, and I don't know how many other people, but he shared my legal name, which is dangerous. Like, why would you do that? And how is that even pertinent to the conversation? But he shared it with people that, you know, are in our group that were frequenting his page. And who knows who else he told my legal name to. So, yeah, the man has some serious issues and is definitely predatory and didn't have good like, this is all just harmful stuff. Like, there's no reason to tell anybody's legal name to someone else in passing conversation. That doesn't make any sense. Mind you, he expressly told me, again in a voice note, he asked me if he could call me by my like real first name. He's like, I'll never slip up. I'll never share it with anybody or say it on live or anything like that. Like, I'm really careful about stuff like that. Again, like, yet another confession, because that's immediately what he did, was tell people my actual name. So crazy,
Same.
nasty work. And
Same.
last but not least, if anybody knows Snow the product or follows Snow the product, he's mutuals with her. She came on his live in late December, and he proceeded to call me right after that live and rage the fuck out, because she was basically saying that she thought that he was deepening the divide between the Black and brown community and stuff. And he was very pissed off about this. So he called me and told me, like, he raged out and was like, I want to host a live. And I was like, okay, well, just know that if you host that live, then your whatever tie that you have to her is going to be done, and you're going to have a lot of pissed off people in your comments because she has a very large following. And so I don't know why you would want to open up a live to basically trash her. And she just like came on your live like, okay, you don't agree with her. And I don't necessarily agree that talking about it deepens the divide either, but he was raging out, like raging mad, and trash talking her, but still wants to be mutuals with her. So I think that's fucking hilarious.
I did just want to say something briefly because we do have another person that wanted to share their story, but they would like to stay anonymous because throughout this process of us trying to gain attention and warn people within our community about him, somebody doxed one of our mods of our group chat. So, but this is her story. On Saturday, January 17th, Jesus was on voice chat in the Discord and was scrolling through his For You page, and he was sharing his screen, mind you. He stopped at a YT woman who was in the LGBTQIA plus community and was mask presenting. He made a comment stating, "Here guys, like this one," and laughs. "Why do white women hate white men and then dress like them?" And he laughed more. No one said anything. A few people left because they didn't want to get upset with him. Redacted sent him a video about why someone in the community presents as mask and why what he said was harmful. He did not respond to this person.
That's why he stopped talking to me.
So he has that in common with either calling people racist, using like they are phobic of any kind, so people don't question him. He figures these are the big buzzwords that people will hear and then not give any pushback, as we so found, right? Because mind you, we found 30 different people. We found 30 different people who have experiences with him, harmful experiences as well. But let me continue. They tried to tell him why what he said was harmful. No response was given. On Monday in the voice chat, that same mutual came and he went and he decided to make a statement of, yeah, I forgot to message people back. Like, I see it, but I don't respond, or I forget to. But again, he didn't address the situation, and he has a common pattern of not addressing situations when he is harmful, because there was another instance on his panel where a male who was a part of the LGBTQIA plus community as well was debating with another woman on his panel. She was degrading him, calling him all types of slurs. Jesus allowed this on his platform. He did not stop it. He did not step in. He also ended up gifting the woman who was attacking this person within the community. So he has a history of just creating unsafe spaces on his panel. That's only a single instance. He also does the Black and Brown unity conversations and why the Hispanic Latino communities shouldn't be using the N-word and addressing anti-Blackness within the community. But he panels Hispanic and Latino people who are MAGA and spit racist rhetoric out on the panel. He doesn't drop them. And when mods intervene to drop it and stop what is going on, because again, the goal is unity. Why are we platforming people who are saying harmful things? He would get mad at us and accuse us of messing with his engagement in the live.
Away my mod powers for that.
Right, and I believe he also got upset with Phoenix for stepping in as well. Again, he just continuously, the topics that he's talking about under the guise of unity, but he platforms and allows people to be harmful to people within these various communities. And I just want to land right there.
Thank you very much. I think, oh my God, it's Ronnie. You came up because you said you had an experience as well with this particular person. So I wanted to give you the space to, share your experience.
Hello, I'm Ronnie. I'm 28. I met Jesus through Cali. I only went there because of Cali. I only stayed because of Cali. And when he started treating her wrong, I said something about it and he kicked me. But it's been multiple instances on his panel where he's let me be called in pretendian, be overtalked, attacked, call out my name. Just a whole lot of ad hominems. And then when I respond, he runs to other people and tell them that I'm controlling his live. Excuse me. I'm controlling his live. I'm monologuing. I'm rude. I'm just X, Y, and Z. I'm pushing division and a whole lot of stuff. But for me personally, what soured it is he was like on a panel. Multiple people were there. I think Callie was there. Strong T Tree was there. Liddy was there. A few other people were there. And he was like, well, if you need help with your outreach, I don't mind helping you. I reached out to him, letting him know, hey, I need supplies. He said that he had diapers, formula, and stuff like that. So I reached out. He didn't say anything to me. Like weeks went on, nothing was said. He said this right after Christmas. Diaper drive was at the end of January. Didn't hear anything back from him at all. Literally just drug my name through the mud to anybody who would listen. And turned out he was asking other people for donations to help me. Never helped me. Never got anything from him for the outreach or anything like that.
So I'm so sorry. So he organized mutual aid, quote unquote, for you, but you never asked for it?
No, he organized mutual aid for me, quote unquote, because I did. Because he was like, I broke down on his, excuse me, on his panel. I was feeling overwhelmed. And I was literally like, it can't just be me doing this. I need help. He was like, reach out to me. I have supplies and I'll send them out to you. He literally did a live saying that he was looking for mutual aid to help a mutual get resources for her diaper drive. I am said mutual.
For diapers.
Diapers, formula, and other things like that. It was supposed to be a supply drive, but he emphasized diapers.
So he decided to basically scam a mother.
See, yeah, because it was 4 women in my community. I am a school teacher.
Scam
So I do,
mothers. Okay.
yes, young mothers. I am a school teacher. I do outreach all the time. I feed the homeless, work with DV victims. The list goes on what I do. I'm running for mayor in Kansas City, Missouri. So if you live there, please vote for me. You'll see me on your ballot. He knew all this. So when I told him that I needed help because school teacher, I'm not like complaining about my job, but I don't have the funds to take care of myself and everybody else in my community. He knew that I was vulnerable to him and told him like, hey, I can't pay my rent and do this. He was like, no, don't worry about it. I got you. Nothing. Never said anything. So I had to go through other means and other routes, pushing myself further in the red to get these things that I've already promised these people. And it wasn't to the magnitude that it should have been, but I did what I could.
So he basically he basically scammed mothers from underfunded communities, is what you're saying. So
Yes, ma'am.
low income household mothers who needed diapers and formula. I'm so sorry. How low can this person get? I'm not gonna lie. How low can this person get? I
This
don't
is
think
not
it can
his
get any
only
lower.
instance of this as well. Like he offers his platform to help,
Mm-hmm.
but then never follows up with anybody, doesn't message anyone back. He never uses his platform to help anybody in the mutual aid that he talks about. Allegedly, this is all alleged. There is
Mm-hmm.
there's no website, there's no link tree, there's nothing other than his Cash App or a third party payment app tag
Wow.
of his personally. So no one ever sees him doing these things either. So yeah.
Allegedly, of course. Yeah, this is criminal, allegedly, but yeah. Continue, Ronnie. Sorry, I did interrupt you because I wanted to ask questions, but yes, for clarification purposes. But yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
No, please continue, or were you done?
Oh, I'm sorry.
No problem.
Yeah, so that's where the issue started, and then he started treating Southern Fried Cali really, really weird. Um, and again, that's big sis. I don't care how wrong she is. I'm gonna defend her every step of the way. Don't care. I'll stand on it. Whatever consequence come with it, I'm rocking behind it. But he was treating her weird. And when I mean weird, like he would just say little slick things, but he would never put a name like to it. Like he would say something about her, but he won't say Callie. He's like, oh yeah, and somebody in the Discord, you know, they don't want to ever be a part of the VC, but they'll come in afterward. Like he'll do little things like that, but never address who he's talking about. And so I had directly approached him and was like, hey, why can't I add Callie? What's your deal with Callie? I was like kicked out of the Discord. And then I blocked him when I told him like, hey, you don't have to lie about me to other people. I never once, held your live up. I never once did any of that. I don't even come by anymore because you're weird. When you let those grown men sit on your panel and call me everything but a child of God and then got mad at me for crashing out, I knew what you were then.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know that that he's a motherfucking liar when he said Callie was trying to control or take over his platform. When I know Callie hates hosting lives. One thing I know about Callie is Callie really hates hosting lives. So the fact that he tried to lie on her name by claiming that she was trying to steal his platform, that is a fucking liar. But thank you, Ronnie. I think Harmony was next. You said that you had a story too. Or I don't think she's on the app. Then Sad Vegan, we'll go to you. Sad Vegan.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, this is just the only reason I followed this guy was because of Southern Pride. You say some funny stuff, and I really love like hearing. I never got to see your full name, but Southern Fried Cali. That's the only reason I followed a dude. But initially, me and Jesus bonded over like motorcycles because I ride, and I guess like I don't know. I accidentally requested up on one of his lives because I listened to like what he says. He catches you like you're like hell yeah, black and brown unity, like fuck ICE, like all this, and I'm just like yes, this is how I feel, and I'm new to TikTok, so he was like one of the first people that I hit it off with, and then he messaged me. He's like, "You ride motorcycles?" I'm like, "Yeah." And we kind of bonded over that, and then we bonded over some other like trauma stuff. And I'm thinking I had a friend, and then he found out I was gay. He stopped talking to me immediately. Like he stopped DMing me. He stopped like everything, and I was like, "Well, fuck you then." So I unfollowed him. Like it was kind of shitty because I thought like I had like not a friend, you know, this is the internet, but it was just kind of shitty because I thought I had someone to talk to and I thought he was coming from a real place. But I think he just saw me as like, oh, she's a female, she rides motorcycles. I'm gonna see if I can kick game to her. But yeah, it felt like the second he like I told him, you know, I don't like men like that. Like it ceased all communications. And I was like, that's kind of shitty. But you know, whatever. That's my only experience with him. I just thought that was kind of shitty. This all y'all's stories is like way more serious than mine. But the homophobic shit makes sense now. It makes sense. It's like
Mm-hmm.
you can still be my friend. I'm gay. I don't want to I don't want to be with you like that. But I just thought I was making a friend. I'm going through some stuff. We bonded over like some serious stuff, like losses from drug
Mm-hmm.
overdoses and stuff. And I was telling him some really private shit, and then he just cut me off once he found out I was gay. And I deal with this a lot with men. Once they find out that I'm not like that, they cease talking to me because they had another agenda in me. I'm just trying to make a friend, you know? So it was disappointing. But I just had a feeling, you guys. I just had, everybody, I just had a feeling like you wasn't right with him, like when he did that. Something wasn't
Mm-hmm.
right. And then I saw this freaking live, and I'm like, no way. Like, it was what you're saying. I believe every single one of you. Truth, whatever. I'm believing you. I don't think y'all would pull this shit out of thin air. So I'm believing every single one of you until otherwise, because we got to start believing each other and we got to start having each other's backs. You know what I mean? If you identify as a woman, if you are like me, if you are a woman, whatever, like we need to start. In my eyes, if you're a woman, you're telling me something, like I'm gonna believe you, and then the proof can come later. But I'm gonna believe you right now. So whatever y'all are saying, I believe you 100%. I unadded him a long time ago, and is bullshit. And I really want to fucking DM him right now and say, "What the fuck, dude? What's wrong with you?" Like, but I'm not gonna do that out of respect for. I don't want any retaliation to happen to you or Southern Pride because honestly, like I love, I just love hearing you talk. You make me laugh. You're very comedic, but you also get your point across. So it's not like I'm laughing at you. I laugh with you, and I respect you. And I'm sorry for all of this. This is crazy. This is crazy because I just had that little gut feeling that we all get. You know what I'm saying? And we ignore it, but that little gut feeling, like something ain't right about that guy, you know. And I kind of brushed it off, and then here we are. Like this is just
Mm-hmm.
disappointing, and it's hurtful to all of you. You guys don't deserve any of that shit, and I hope y'all get your recompense. I hope you all get recompensated for everything.
Mm-hmm. I think all of your experiences that have been shared on this panel have all been 100% valid in their own way, in that they show a pattern of behavior with regards to this man, and how he preys on people, how he triangulates different people, how he abuses people, and how he just camouflages himself like a chameleon, pretending to care about women's rights and femmes and all those different things. And he preys on people who are also actively doing the work within their communities, right? So, 100%, I think all of your experiences are valid in their own way, because they just further illustrate how fundamentally dangerous this person is. Thank you very much. Policy Wonk, you also requested, I think you have an experience with Jesus. Yeah.
Hi, Covey. Hi, everyone. I actually talked about my experience the last time there was the live, but I'll just kind of refresh everyone. I'm older. I'm in my 50s. Very successful. I came to his live. We clashed completely. The guy just doesn't have substance. He uses the wonderful, educated women in the panel I think if it wasn't for Southern, I would have completely just never came back again. He's a manipulator. But again, like many people have brought up that we all went because of who was in the panel, not because of him. I never heard any substance that I wanted to hear from him. It was mainly everyone else that I was sort of, following and, supporting. But during Christmas, he requested money so that he could make tamales for the community. We're both from the Bay Area. He's not too far from me. I never got to meet him, but I wasn't going to because there was a vibe that I just didn't get, that I was like, no. But I am very conscious to helping, my people. So when he said that he was going to feed them, I was like, easy, here's $300. First of all, he never said thank you. That's a lot of money. And that's not like, it's not a lot of money, but it's a lot of money. You know what I mean? Like you could at least say, oh, thank you. But he didn't say nothing. He just like ignored it. And I know he got it, obviously, because I have his account. And then he never said anything else. And then I just hated the fact that he was, crashing out on people. But one of the things that he wanted to do with me was he was like, hey, I know you have some restaurants. I'm going to come to LA. I want to see if we can collaborate together. But to me, again, he doesn't have substance. And so, but that's not the reason why I came in, because a lot of you guys already know the story. The reason why I came in to say is Southern Fry, Callie, and to all the ladies, thank you for speaking up. You're saving women, femmes, the community, the LGBTQ. He had a lot of people there, and you're saving a lot of people. And I just want to thank you so much. I'm older. I don't, I know that he said a lot of inappropriate things to you guys, and I kind of just never had a good vibe from him. But I really, really want to tell you guys, as someone that is older, that I'm here for you. I am sorry you went through this. I am so sorry. I've been in that position before in my younger days. And I believe you guys. I believe you, young women, young men, everyone else. I don't think that he had the best interest in anyone but himself. A lot of people have said that he seems to have the narcissistic behaviors, which possibly, but I don't want to take a lot of the time. I just really, really wanted to say thank you so much for speaking out. Thank you. You guys are saving other women, and hopefully someone, I'm not going to ask for my $300 back. That is bull crap. I don't want, like someone said, I also don't want to start some retaliation and things like that. He can kiss my, you know what? Karma's going to get him. I'm totally fine with it. Good luck to him. But I do want to say, ladies, you are awesome, and you keep up talking. Don't let anyone take you away from speaking up. And, and you did nothing wrong. If he got me, he could easily get anybody, because he had a good game, because he was using you guys. But I tell you, without you guys, he is no one. And have a wonderful day, and go Bud Bunny.
Exactly.
Thank
Excited
you,
for
policy.
thank you, Policy, for your kind words. I just wanted to say I've been hearing a lot of the femmes and the women on the panel apologizing. Please stop apologizing, okay? You don't see mediocre men who take up as much space as possible apologizing. So I feel like women are conditioned to somehow apologize for taking up space. Just know that you can take up as much space as you want on my panels. So please do not apologize for sharing your experience or for speaking or whatever it is. Policy, as you were speaking, somebody else in the chat wrote, that's what got me. Vids of him were feeding people and asking for mutual aid. I sent $100. So somebody in the chat also claimed that they sent $100 as well, because they thought that he was helping people on the ground, right? So really disgusting. But I'm proud of every single person who came up here to share their experience, because it does take courage, genuinely. Thank you, Policy. Uh, who else wanted to go next before we go to Tiff?
I just wanted to add to something that Bella said earlier about his lives about the N word. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I would be speaking, defending my community, and Jesus would end the live. So like I would text him and then be like, hey, like I don't think that was good, and you silenced me as a Black person. And he would weaponize his mental health stuff and say things like, oh well, I just felt overwhelmed. But he would keep holding these lives over and over again, knowing that this was the most his community participated in his lives. And that became a problem because racists were coming into his live and gifting other races while Black people on his panels were being berated. And I just wanted to add that in there because like it got so bad that I stopped showing up for those lives.
Mm-hmm. So he used to host a space in order for the people he claimed that he was there for to basically do the educational and emotional labor and end up getting berated by a bunch of racists, is what you're basically saying.
Yes. Well, the
Mm.
racists got gifted.
Well, oh, wow. Okay. And he didn't step in as a host to prevent that from happening or to set some boundaries. He just let that happen.
Pretty
Yes,
much, yeah.
quite
Mm.
often as well.
Okay. You want to say something, Ronnie?
I did because Phoenix brought up a very good point. I noticed with him, like men, he would allow men to get in the panel and in the boxes, and he wouldn't say anything when they would talk crazy to us. Because honestly, I've been called everything but a child of God on that man's panel, and he won't say anything. If like another woman doesn't check him on it, then he'll say something. Like if Phoenix says something, then he'll get in gear. If Callie says something, he has to say something because Callie takes it there every time. But it's like he kind of did this thing with men where he would be passive, but with women, like it was I forgot her name. I think it's Rena or something like that. He goes at her so hard. I mean, that woman is everything but a child of God. She's a 304. She's a WHORE. Like he talks bad about her, but when men come around, he's real submissive and subservient.
Wait, he called her a whore?
Oh yeah,
Yeah, he's
Oh.
talked really, really bad about other like Latino or Latina creators on this app. And it was something that I actually had a conversation with him about both publicly and privately. Like, why are you spending so much time bashing other creators? And like, you need to stop doing that. Like, you're ostracizing people in your own community. And who gives a fuck what somebody else on their platform is doing? Like, why is this even the topic? Like, if the topic is Black and Brown unity and we're talking about that, why are you spending so much time bashing other creators? It's weird. Like, so yeah, but we don't support certain creators, including the one that was just mentioned. She is very problematic, but that doesn't take away from the fact that he would actively bring up creators, not just for being racist, but just because he just doesn't like them or to smear campaign them, much like he was doing a lot of the participants on his panel and even his own mods. He was doing smear campaigns on other people as well. So with any sort of background of kind of racism or without it, he was still constantly attacking other people. And I think that was one thing that put he and I at odds, was that I was like being like, why are you doing this? Can we stick to the topic? Like, it's weird I'm not going to be on a panel where we're just bashing another creator. Like, I'm not doing that. So,
yeah, it was a lot from him because I actually had gotten into it with a mutual of mine because she started being what is xenophobic? She started being xenophobic to him, and I had to check her about it. But when I got the full context of the story, was she right for being xenophobic? No, but he called her a um, transgender slur. He was
Oh
asking
my
about
God.
her sexuality, like, because she doesn't use she, her pronouns. She uses they,
Mm-hmm.
them. and he felt the need to like joke about that in the comments, like you don't even know what you are, and it was just a lot. So I did check her on her xenophobia, but I understand where her frustration was coming from. Apparently, he does that a lot to women creators, but when it's male creators, he kind of just, oh no, I don't have any beef with bro. I just blocked him, but you keep coming at women's necks.
Wow.
Yeah, so remember when I said every accusation is a confession? Because
Mhm.
he tried to make me sound like I was the one that was being transphobic, which did not happen. If it did, I would be like, "Oh, guys, I said this. I didn't realize what I was saying. I messed up." Like, like I would apologize. I would own that shit. But it didn't happen. But now I'm hearing that he actually was transphobic to somebody, and you know what? Like I said, every accusation is a fucking confession. This man is pathological.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Um,
that's all I
I'm
wanted
sorry.
to add to that.
Mm-hmm. Tiff, you wanted to share something as well.
Yeah, good afternoon, everybody. I'm sorry about earlier. I was out door dashing and I thought I'd have a few minutes to, quickly say a couple of things, but unfortunately I was not able to. But I'm free right now, so um, I know some of you people know me because I was quite a regular in Jesus's lives for a year, maybe a little over a year at this point. And what I found out, like over the past 2.5 weeks since all this discovery was going on, is that he was doing and saying a lot of things to people that I had no knowledge about. Um, Pretty much, I would say 97% of the things that has come out about him over the past couple of weeks I had no knowledge of, because I am 42 years old. I'm Black American, and I also live all the way across the country from Jesus. I live in the Deep South. And, I was a regular in his life because the prompts attracted me, because I was honestly trying to figure out what happened with the Hispanic and Latino community after the 2024 presidential election, because I thought shit was sweet, and I found out wrong. That's what attracted me to coming into his spaces, and he had me fooled for well over a year. I don't think people realize the extents that this man will go to perpetrate a lie. Like, we've already talked about the stolen valor. Um, We've talked about Red Velvet's story, and we've talked about Callie's story, and a couple of other people have mentioned things. I was literally so shocked and floored. He has been lying to me pretty much the whole time that I have been what I call a regular in his live streams. He told me deliberate lies on people, because I've been around his space long enough to see plenty of people come and go. There are people in here that I see now in the chat that stopped coming into his lives, and I, never really figured out why. Like, I know people are busy, they have jobs, lives, families, and all that. So I thought about it, but I didn't think about it too hard. Um, so yeah, he lied and isolated me from a group of regular people that used to come in his space, probably starting about 9 or 10 months ago. I'm not going to name names, but the same thing that set all this off happened last year, back in, I think, May or June. Jesus has started a Discord, and, you know, he made a couple of people mods, and let them, create channels to talk about different things. Like there were categories for resources, like if anybody was doing mutual aid, they could look up the resources for that. There were even categories about communism, like Afro-pessimism, things like that. And he had given these people, he had given the mods in the Discord free reign to, do whatever. And fast forward, the Discord ended up getting deleted. There was a situation that happened that I'm not comfortable speaking about because it does involve a minor. That's all I'm going to say about that. And
Wait, hold on. What involves a minor? Sorry.
one of the reasons that the previous Discord was deleted, I'm not comfortable talking about the
Okay,
situation at
okay.
all.
Respect. Okay.
Yeah, but yeah, for clarification, yes. So everybody's trying to figure out what happened because we were all just in the Discord and the voice chat the night before, and pretty much the next day it was gone. Like no warning, no, hey, I'm going to delete it for, whatever reason. The reason Jesus gave for it was that somebody hacked into his phone and got into all of his accounts and deleted everything and got one of his like pages banned or some bullshit. And I'm not a tech person. Like I'm 42 years old. I live in the deep South. I'm not a tech person at all. So for all I could have known, that really happened. You know what I mean? So I just took him at his word, like, okay, whatever. But then I noticed all the regulars stopped coming into the lives as well. And I didn't know what happened. Like nobody approached me. Like the regulars did not approach me. Jesus didn't tell me, what happened. He just kind of acted clueless when in reality, and mind you, I only found this out a couple of weeks ago. He spun me this story that um, he really deleted the Discord because he felt like the mods that he had appointed in there were taking over and trying to take over his Discord and also trying to take over his platform on his TikTok lives because he had made a bunch of those people mods, right? So they all stopped coming in, and he eventually unmodded them and said things like, they're not coming in here anymore, so I have to unmod them. And a couple of them have been upset about it, and things like that. And it's not that deep. Like if I don't want you to be my mod anymore, like just carrying on like that. But like I said, I found out a couple of weeks ago that what happened was I really can't say too much because it does involve what I don't want to talk about. But Jesus tried to spin it one way when in reality, a completely different thing happened. And that group separated ways. And they just all assumed that I knew when I had no idea what had happened. So I went all those months thinking that they just pretty much ghosted Jesus. They ghosted me. Like we were no longer in communication. And to find out a couple of weeks ago that he really pushed them away, he spread a vicious lie about one of the people. Um, Unforgivable, the lie that he fabricated. It is completely untrue. It's disgusting that he would even open his mouth and say that. So yeah, that's just one of the lies. So what happened with this Discord that he started at the beginning of this year, I noticed the pattern. He started acting weird. He On his TikTok lives, he started crashing out. At this point, we already had the Discord. Now, I don't know how many people know about Discord, but there's like little games you can play in there, like in the voice chat. So we had started doing that. And he claimed that he loved the Discord group so much and things like that. But he was just so volatile. Like he was so, I won't say emotional, but his emotions flipped just like that. Like he had got super fixated on white people. He was giving people a hard time who are biracial and have white parents. He was giving hell to people who had white partners. You know what I mean? And also what everybody else was just talking about how, he didn't want you to be in anybody's space that he was beefing with. Like he always called them his ops. Like this person is my op, that person is my op. If you're hanging out in my ops lives, then I'm going to block you. Like he was fixated pretty much on those two things the last couple of weeks, before everything got crazy. So we were in the Discord late one night playing like Scrabble or something like that. And he came in and was like, y'all are in here on the voice chat more than you're in my lives now. And, I was thinking to myself, like, what the hell? And before anybody in the chat could respond, he left. And then immediately after that, I'm not sure of the timeline because shit happened so quickly and a lot of information was made known very quickly. But that's when we found out about Phoenix pretty much unfollowing him and leaving the Discord. They made a group chat to let all of us know, that were regulars in his live, because we had found a little community within ourselves. You know what I mean? We enjoyed, chatting with each other and things like that. Jesus didn't like that. He wanted us all in his lives, sitting up there, agreeing with everything that he says, and just pretty much being yes people. Like he wanted groupies or sycophants. He did not value us as being part of a community. I'm realizing a lot of this shit in the last couple of weeks. But yeah, after that, things just got crazy. Like, I think the day or maybe 2 days after Phoenix, explained to us why she was disassociating themselves with with Jesus, we woke up one morning and found out that the Discord had been restricted. Like, we could not send messages to each other in the Discord at all. And a couple of us DM'd Jesus. We didn't get any kind of answer. So I myself created a Discord so we could all, keep doing what we were doing. We'd be hanging out in the voice chat and everything and playing games. I wanted us to still be able to, do that regardless of Jesus tripping. Like he's obviously tripping. We can't do shit in his Discord no more. So fuck it. I'm going to make my own. And I'm sorry if I'm cussing too much.
No, it's okay. It's okay, Tiff. Continue.
Yeah. So, that's when we all started comparing notes, and I found out about all the ugly, disgusting, trifling things that he had been doing that I had absolutely no knowledge of. I had no idea of the situation between him and Red Velvet. I had no idea he was spreading lies behind Callie's back. So it was all just a little bit mind blowing to me. So, fast forward to the present, we've had a couple of little hiccups. We did start reaching out to people to see what their stories were because, hey, didn't that person used to be in his lives all the time and they're suddenly ghosts? Like, what happened to them? So we started reaching out to people. And that's where the Discord server came into fruition. Like we wanted a safe space to be able to talk to each other about what happened to us. We wanted a place to leave proof, that these things that he said and done really happened and everything. Like it's just been a lot the last couple of weeks, especially with one of the mods being misgendered by somebody who joined the server just to sow discord. One of the other mods ended up getting doxxed, and to this day, if you go on that person's TikTok profile, the mod's name is still there. We had somebody infiltrate and we thought they were going to be a supportive person because they felt icky about Jesus. and they just pretty much started trouble. I really don't want to get into it, but I will say that it was pretty bad, and a lot of people, well, I'm not going to say a lot of people, but a few people ended up leaving the Discord for that very reason, and it just really upset me so much because this was supposed to be a safe space. That's what I wanted it for, so we could all talk things out, so we could help make people feel better about their situations, because Jesus was manipulating and lying and isolating a buttload of people. And I'm not a content creator. I'm just a regular person on TikTok that likes to scroll and watch brain rot and things like that. I rarely, speak about politics. Jesus' space was the first place that I really felt like I could speak out. I am no longer going to do that. I'm just going to sit in the chat from now on and mind my business after this is over. But people need to be warned about him. That was the primary goal of the server, to get support, to look at all the evidence, and to, do lives like these to spread the word. That man has to be stopped. He was chased off of Twitter. We can chase his ass off of TikTok.
Thank you very much, Tiff. Appreciate you for sharing your experience. Wow.
You expand Bella's screen. This
Yes, sorry, I didn't see that.
No, it's
so
okay. I
I
just put that up. But real quick, I'm sorry to interrupt you. I did want to say these people that did infiltrate our group, they knew about Jesus's behavior a couple of years to a year in advance, because this was a group. They knew that he was stalking women, taking money from people, and causing harm. So I also want to put that out there. But
so I wanted to put this screenshot into context. So on Wednesday 2 weeks ago, I woke up really early and I saw that Jesus had already started crashing out in the Discord about Peyton in good trouble. And he was essentially expressing that they needed to be Charlie Kirked. So I had wrote him and asked him if he had beef with me and Ronnie, because he knew that both me and Ronnie expressed being appreciative of Peyton being boots on the ground, and like if someone is doing the work, you shouldn't be trying to discourage that. And so he wrote that and he was like, well, if anybody doesn't fuck with me, then you can dip out of my
Wait, he
Discord.
said
If
the creators, Peyton and Good Trouble, need to be kirked?
yes, yes, he
Oh
did.
my god. Okay.
Yeah. So he said that, and I wrote him and I said, "Hey, dude, like I don't know what's going on, but like for me, it's 6:36 in the morning, and you didn't even say good morning to the Discord. You're just talking about like unaliving people, and I'm like, that's not good vibes." And he's like, "Oh well, I deleted it for you." And then I was in a voice chat with Tiff and I believe someone else who is also not a part of our Discord anymore. And he came in while we were having a regular conversation and asked me like, "Oh, well, do you know Peyton?" And I was like, "No, I don't know Peyton." And he was like, "Well, it's so weird that you would pick some YT man that you don't even know over someone that you're actually friends with." And I told him that I wouldn't discuss Peyton with him, because I felt like we were friends for 3 years and I wasn't going to have an argument with him in a public space. And he texted me and he said, well, like, I think that's crazy because I talked to you about everything, even Callie, blah, blah, blah. And you won't discuss Peyton with me. So then he proceeded to go into the Discord and crash out like this. And then he got on live, crashed out on all of the mods, came back to the Discord to at the bottom, it says, come to the voice chat, come to voice chat. And I'm not deleting Discord, because he had been threatening us with deleting the Discord because he saw that we spent more time with each other than with him. And that is why I actually end up leaving, not because of myself, but because of the way that he was treating the rest of the mod team. And so, yeah, that's the context of this screenshot and what was going on with this current Discord.
Yeah,
Oh,
in
someone
Can
said that
you
Phoenix.
it's
can
hard to
you
read.
Yeah, because it's hard to read, is there a possibility that you can read it out loud? If that's okay with you?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I just want to say that he literally crashed out on a TikTok live and then ended it abruptly and then went directly into the Discord and typed all this. And it's literally all the same stuff that he said in his crash out on TikTok live. Swear to God. Yeah,
Wow.
and you know, that's when I knew that he was about to do something stupid like delete the Discord, which is the main reason I started that other server, because you're not gonna stop us from building community. I don't know what you think this is. Like, I'm not a groupie. None of us are.
About the YT people and Peyton thing, I was one of the people, well, I was the reason why he crashed out and ended the live that day, because he was like, we was talking about YT people and he was calling them things and it and like just being dehumanizing and letting people do it as well. And I was like, well, you can't do that. That's a slippery slope, because once you start dehumanizing them because you don't like them, they have every right to do it back to you. And he was just like, oh, you don't know what I've been through. My mom was taken by deportation and she was raped, and like he just started trauma dumping on me and trying to make me feel bad, which I did. I then later on apologized, because I was never trying to discredit his experience, but I'm saying like you can't dehumanize people if your fight is to end oppression. It's like wielding the tools of white supremacy to end white supremacy. It will never work that way. And he cussed me out, like I mean, cussed me so bad that even some of the men on TikTok that I know, they like, you want me to handle that? Like you, like what was that about? Like they were very upset. And about the Peyton situation, like he made it out like I was a race traitor and I was, what did he say? Play pro black. That one did hurt my feelings a lot, because what I do is for the black and brown community, like as a whole. And he called me fake pro black because I said that Peyton doesn't use money that he gets from like his crowdfunding on himself. The only time he ever did is when he went to jail. And he was just like, oh, well, you can't tell me how to feel about white people. And this is my trauma and this is my struggle. And I don't care who you are. You won't tell me how I'm supposed to feel. And if you don't like it, you can go. And I was just like, all right, I don't even argue with men I sleep with. I'm not going to argue with you, sir.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? I just keep clicking your camera somehow. I don't know how I'm doing that. I'm sorry. But I did want to piggyback on that because I was there during at least one of those conversations, and I just want to take us back real quick because, mind you, he's crashing out about white people when he just recently allegedly stopped sleeping with white women. But he was with a white woman for a whole decade, and by his own admission, allowed white people to rename him Jesse and was going by Jesse for a couple decades, y'all. Letting that white ex person, her family, call him Jesse, and admittedly treating him very poorly, according to him, for him being Mexican. So talking down, and he put up with that and was around them rich white people for a decade, probably because they were wealthy white people. Yes, he was allowing them to call him Jesse. Go look up the what I told y'all about earlier, the stolen valor stuff that he did on military phonies. You can look up. Yeah, he's on there. Just type in his name, y'all. But anyway, so I just find that interesting because he would be crashing out talking about white people while simultaneously having been with a white person all the way up and just until just a couple years ago. I think it was 2022 that they broke up. And he was still dating and sleeping with white women for a few years. He claims he stopped recently, but he was still messing with white women up until maybe 2 years ago, according to him. But even recently admitted to sleeping with the ICE agent's wife, who was white, according to him, allegedly. So do with that information what you will, but it's giving hypocrite. It's giving weirdo. I don't know why. And then again, got mad when I checked him about him bragging about having slept with that ICE agent's wife because it was just a nasty, weird, gross, misogynistic story to even tell. He crashed out and shut down the live when he was held accountable for that.
Phoenix, did you want to read this? Or Athena, can you read this now? I did switch it.
Yes, from the beginning. Okay. My own mods. So who's the person who's writing on top? Is that him?
Yes, this is all him. This was a
Okay.
part of his little crash out, just like spammed the Discord with multiple messages.
Okay. My own mods don't respect them at times when they come up. The monologues, the interrupting me, or making little comments about my ADHD, the theatrics. Wait, your name is covering that part. The theatrics when people come up and monologue. If you're friends with my ops on TikTok, I will no longer give you mod powers or allow you into my space. If you're constantly defending white people or problematic white people, I'm unmodding you. You can't claim to be my friend and sit in spaces where people can talk shit about me and not say something or at least dip out. That's some grimy ass behavior. I'm loyal as fuck and will block anyone you ask me to block. But you'll sit in spaces with that Jill Stein supporter or those white liberals. I'll never forget the way some of you had my back, but hanging in spaces where people have lied on me and try to get me banned is nasty as fuck. Come to voice chat. Come to VC, and I'm not deleting my Discord. Oh my god. Crazy.
And he crashed out in the VC. I intentionally didn't go to the VC when he had that because one, I hadn't really even been in his lives like that and was intentionally not really going up on panel and stuff. Even if I did scroll in there, I was just kind of doing it to like, support the panel and like whatever. But I wasn't really messing with the lives, and he still took that time to crash out and talk shit about me, even though I wasn't even around. And by the way, the only reason I was in his lives as much as I was is because he was asking me to be there, y'all. I still have I need to send you the screenshots. He was sending me his lives every time he would go live, but then he was going and telling the other people from the Discord that I was taking over his live. Then why the hell are you sending me your live every time you go on live? You're essentially asking me to come to your live. What? Or if I wouldn't show up for a day or two, he would reach out to me and ask me, like, oh, are you okay? Oh, you just haven't been in the lives. But I'm trying to take over your lives. Crazy work.
Real quick, this is the website Callie was talking about earlier, Military Phony. You can definitely find it on there. Give me 1 second. This is definitely him, as you can see. This is the old Twitter account that he had. I'm in my camera roll, that's why I'm putting my phone down, because I want to make sure everything is sweet before I show it to y'all. But he claimed he was a retired Army Ranger. He claimed he was a POW. He served 5 years. He had 4 Purple Hearts. Oh, 10 years. Yeah, served for over 10 years.
What?
All right. And then I have the actual request that was put in for his information. There were no results found, and people did multiple requests. There was multiple requests for this information. Yeah, there we go. Never served. Never served a day in his life. So he has been scamming the community for at least a decade that we know of.
This guy is like the TikTok swindler, not gonna lie. Also, I just wanted to say, somebody within my community sent me other receipts as well. Give me a second. Somebody in my Discord server. two different people actually sent me receipts. So the first one was, give me a second. So this person, they had sent him money. And the second one was this person, they sent him $100 and literally said for feeding people. Thank you. So this person sent him money for feeding people because apparently he said he was going to help people. And then this person also sent him money as well. So two different people who had sent him money. Yeah. So this guy was just basically grifting off of folks. Disturbing. But I did want to go to first that mom, Michelle. They've been quiet this whole time. So I want to allow them to share their experiences because they've been on the panel for a long time. And then after that, Mrs. So Sweet.
Give me 1 second, guys. I'm going back into my bedroom. Okay. I am like Tiff. A lot of my situation is like Tiff. I think we both stumbled upon him around the same time. When we started going into his live, and I was a part of that first Discord before whatever happened, and he closed that one down. But for some reason or another, I never got another invite to a Discord. But I was like, I mean, I don't care because I'm not on TikTok a lot. Like Tiff, I just scroll. I would say that a lot of you guys have known about what's going on for like a long time. And like Phoenix honestly just told me like a couple days ago about what was going on. And I actually reached out to them because there was another instance where, he had gone MIA from lives. And occasionally, I go in there. A lot of you guys know me. I'm a single mom, so I'm not in there a lot. But if you're in there, you've probably seen me. And I'd noticed he hadn't been on for a while. So I did reach out to him just to see like what was going on. And he always claimed, it was drama from this person or that person. And, I'm very sorry that I didn't, know about any of this. The way that he always sold it to me was that, people would get upset with him because they were, making like advances at him or sending him inappropriate pictures. And he was telling them, no, we can be friends. But clearly that is not the case. And I didn't know the people that he would tell me about because, again, I wasn't like that much of a regular to know everybody that came. But like Tiff, like I noticed that there would be people that would be in there, every time I was in there, but then all of a sudden that they left. But I just chalked it up to, oh, they've just moved on or they're busy in life and all of that. Right now I'm disgusted. I'm upset, and I feel like a part of it myself like betrayed you guys because I didn't think to reach out to you. So I'm so very sorry about that.
If
I
I can just say something real quick, I
Mhm.
don't think anybody needs to feel sorry. He's a predator. This is what predators do. They isolate, they make things up. That he did what he intended to do, and he's been doing this for a very long time. We are all here for one another. And Michelle, I'm going to give you a follow as well, so you can also come join the community that we created for, again, people that were harmed by Jesus. Please, like, we've all had the same feeling of just how we were so close to one another and we did not reach out to one another. That's not our fault. It's not. We thought he was our friend. We thought he was doing something good within the community. We didn't know these things were happening.
That's what predators do, though. Just as a reminder, I just want to piggyback on that really quickly. They do that. They sow seeds of doubt. so that, again, they can triangulate, right? And so that they can actually control the narrative and control how people engage with one another. It's part of the manipulation. And that's part of the reason I started pulling back when I started feeling like the energy got weird, because it felt like it felt very controlling, because he started crashing out, as Tiff said and others mentioned. He started crashing out, demanding that the mods and the people that frequented the space behave in a certain way, not talk to certain people, not even interact on the Discord, when he's alive, which is what he was implying, right? So it was just giving narcissistic abuser, and at that point, it's a no for me, dog.
I don't know. Like, I know it's obviously it's not my fault. I didn't do these things to you, but as, like so many of us in here, we we think that we're smarter than that. And I know it's in my grief process that I feel horrible for what's happened, and I had no idea what was going on. So while I know it's not my fault, I need to say the words for myself, is that I'm sorry that I never thought to question what he was telling me.
That's insane.
No,
I just wanted to
I
clarify again, by the way. Oh, sorry, Tiff. Before we go to you, Tiff, and then I do want to let Miss So Sweet speak. Nobody on this panel needs to blame themselves. Please, please, please. You could not have known. It's not your fault. Okay. I just wanted to say nobody here should be blaming themselves. This is literally all on him. And the only thing that I would say is we really, 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 especially women and especially femmes, we really need to listen to our gut instincts, because a lot of times we tend to gaslight ourselves when our guts tell us, hey, something is off. And we tend to gaslight ourselves, right? And we really need to stop doing that. But don't blame yourselves at all. Tiff, I want to give it up to you, and then I want to go to Miss So Sweet.
sorry. There's a plane going overhead. Hold on.
No worries. Then we can go to,
Sorry.
okay, Tiff.
I live in a flight path, and planes are always flying over my head. So, um, yeah, I just wanted to also kind of let it be known, just really quickly. I was such a regular in Jesus's lives that a lot of people, I'm finding out, just assumed that I was so stuck up his behind that I wouldn't care about any of the effed up things that he was doing to other people if I had ever found out about any of it. And I found out that's one of the reasons why nobody approached me specifically. You know, like I'm not no big person on TikTok or anything like that. Like I have my little communities on here and everything, but I hope I have never given off the impression that I would be so stuck up a man's ass who lives all the way across the country, who I have never met in person. Like that's just wild to me, and it's also very, very insulting because I have never given off pick me vibes. Um, being in Jesus's space, like at all. So, yeah, I just wanted that to be known because I know there are some people in here that have probably thought that. And I'm just really wanting to set the record straight. I will never be okay with anyone doing these types of things that he's been doing to other people, regardless of your race, your gender. It does not matter. I'm not that type of person. So I'm going to go ahead and go on mute.
Mhm.
I'm gonna say this because there's some people like that guy in the comments. Hi, Jesus. or Jesus's homie that came in here to have his back talking about gossiping. Babes, this isn't gossip. We have the receipts. I mean,
Wait, wait, who said that?
must I play the voice notes? Because it could get embarrassing as fuck in here real quick. Okay.
Wait, wait, okay.
So
Ignore
that's
them.
no.
Don't
I just
address
want to let
them.
it be known that this isn't about being gossipy. Nobody's trying to gossip. We're sharing some stories that actually happened to us. We're sharing our personal experiences of being harmed by this individual. So you can feel a type of way about it if you want to, but we said what the fuck we said.
Yeah,
I
don't
just,
address these people at all. I'm just
I
block them
just,
immediately. Yes, Miss So Sweet,
I
it's your
want to
turn.
make sure that everyone can hear me. So if you guys can hear me, just let me know you guys can hear me loud and clear.
Yes, we can.
So for those of you that know me, I am Mama. I was a moderator and I was basically Jesus's co-host for a very long time. Jesus sat on his live, not only defamed my name, but he dragged me through the mud and made up a ton of lies about me when people started questioning why I wasn't on his live anymore. The saddest part is that there was a lot of people who rubbed elbows with me, who knew my character, knew where I came from. And I was not made aware of what he was doing when it came to me, my character, who I am, and what I stand for a very long time. People sat in his live and they allowed him to speak about me the way he did, to spread some horrific, disgusting rumors about me. He talked about who I am, where I come from, what I am, knowing that he saw who my father was, my family was, and he still tried to joke it off and make it seem as if I wasn't who I said it was. But that's neither here nor there. The reason why I and Jesus stopped speaking was because he started talking to one of my friends. It later went into he started dating her to the point that he was in a way controlling and manipulating. It was so easy for him to do that she didn't notice until it was a few months in. When she started telling me certain things, I in turn told her, I'm going to speak to him because I don't like the way this route is going. Something feels wrong. And I spoke to him. And he gave me that approach of a threatening approach, as if it's not my business what goes on with him and her. He even told her, please don't tell her anything about us because you're going to mess up our friendship. But what he wanted to do was he wanted her to be quiet because he knew who the fuck I was and what I stand on. Secondly, the reason why Jesus and I do not speak now and he blocked me off of everything was because my friend got a cryptic message from a woman who I later found out was a white woman he was dating. This woman knew where my friend worked, where she lived, the fact that she had a daughter. She threatened her that if she didn't stop speaking to him, bad things was going to happen to her. My friend sent me the screenshots, and when I approached him about it, he told me that it was her doing this to manipulate the situation to make him seem like a bad guy. Then he later on tried to tell me about my friend saying that a ton of men were hitting him up, saying that they were dating her, but he had no receipts to show me. Yet I had the receipts of what was happening to her. Weird pages started following her. She became shadow banned. Weird people started following me and sending me threatening messages. This all happened after it was discussed that someone sent her these very cryptic messages. Even a photo of the quote unquote space of where she lived. Now, when I told him that I don't take like things like this lightly, I take this very serious because I see her as my sister and her daughter as my niece. So if he wasn't going to do something about it, I was going to step in and handle it the way I handle it. After that, he stopped communicating with me. I later found out that he had blocked me and unblocked me, blocked me and unblocked me. Then when he finished blocking me, people started finding it strange as to why I wasn't on his live anymore. So he created a narrative that said that the reason why he didn't speak to me was because my best friend was Mexican and I gave her a pass to say the N word. That's what he was saying to people. When how Jesus met me was me hopping on his live because one of the women that used to be his co-host was comparing slavery to something else and I had to check her. When I had to check people who was of Latino or Hispanic descent and how racist they were towards Black people. And when I had to step in and not only show people, but teach people who I was and where I come from, that's when he kept me on his live. When I was on Jesus's live, numbers soared. Why? People enjoyed the fact that I knew what I was talking about, where I came from, and that I was a woman that was not going to hold back. So the reason why Jesus stopped speaking to me was because he was caught not only dating my friend and having relations with other women and making it seem like he wasn't, but when I asked him to look into these threatening messages that was being given to my friend with all of this information that knew where she worked, where she lived, and about her daughter, he didn't want to do anything because he knew at that moment he was caught. And there was nothing else that he can tell me because I wasn't going to continue being friends with a man that was manipulating a woman like this. There were people that knew him and had glimpse of what he was capable of, how his women co-hosts kept disappearing. When I started questioning those things towards him, that's when I noticed that things started changing with him. Because I wanted to keep it platonic, he knew he couldn't infiltrate me. He knew he wasn't stronger than me and what he was doing to other people. That's why him and I stopped speaking. And the way that I came about this page was somebody stumbled upon this page and texted me and said, you need to go on there and speak because there are familiar faces in there that would be on the live and they need to know the real reason why you and him stop speaking. And that's the reason why I'm on here. Because I'd be damned if anybody is going to try to drag me through the mud and make false narratives about me when I know the reason and I have the receipts as to what happened. And that's why I'm on here. Once I blocked him and he blocked me, there was no other conversation about him. There was nothing else to be said. I removed a ton of people off of my TikTok because, again, no one came to me and told me what he was saying about me. It was a random person that remembered me from being on a live and someone else who would be in the live who told me about this. If not, I would have never have known that he was saying these disgusting things about me. And I wanted it to be extremely clear as to why I stopped fucking with that man. Because he is not only manipulative, he's disgusting. And he's a punk. And unlike anybody, I don't fear that man. That man don't put no fear in my heart at all. He's a manipulator and he's extremely dangerous because he has people who he can continue manipulating, and this needs to stop. He is a predator, and that's what he is. Because if he was able to manipulate people to think those nasty things about me, when people learned my character while I was on those lives fighting with people, grown men sending me death threats just to support the cause and what we, quote unquote, what I thought was happening and the movement I thought he wanted to do, for him to switch that narrative, I wasn't going to sit back and allow him to do that. Absolutely not. And that's all I have to say about that, man.
Wow. I don't even know what to say. I'm glad that you're able to clear your name, at least on this panel. And hopefully the people who needed to hear that heard that. Tiff, you wanted to say something?
Yeah, I'm one of those people. Mama, he spun that exact same story to me. And, back then I was super new to TikTok lives and specifically the political lives like his. I had no idea. I don't even recall running into, your friend that, all this happened to. That's how new I was. So, I just want to give my apologies to you. I honestly did not know we found out that he's been lying and manipulating and isolating people for years, literal years. I apologize for believing it. But yeah, that's the exact same story he spun to me. And believe it or not, Mama, he still talks about you from time to time.
He's
We found
obsessed
out,
because he knew that
yeah.
I knew a lot. I know a lot of things about him. Again, I know a lot about him. I know a lot about his personal background. A lot of things that he said, I started finding out on my own wasn't true. Once I started checking him and questioning him, things started to change between him and I. And what was my final, because I don't know if anyone was paying attention, but I was not as present. And what really set the tone for me was when this happened to my best friend. It was, it was so scary because at that time I was still in California. She was on the East Coast. And if something would have happened to her, I wouldn't have been able to get to her that fast. And she is my sister. Her daughter is my niece. And when I reached out to him and was like, look, you need to get something done because this is not just some random person doing this. How do they know so much? And as I was pressing him, That's what pissed him off. And what pissed him off even further was that he couldn't manipulate her to stop telling me things. What pissed him off even further was that she kept saying something doesn't feel right, something is wrong. And me trying to be a neutral to see where this was going. And when I finally put an end to it, that's when he did what he did.
He's clearly got a pattern of this type of behavior, and I'm just glad that I could kind of, pick up on the pattern and, try to get a lot of people together that he's done these things to and try to put a stop to it. But yeah, that's the main purpose for the Discord. That's the main purpose for these lives. We're not doing this to be malicious or anything. We're doing this specifically to warn people because he preys on people that are vulnerable. So if you got a lot going on in your life right now and you're particularly vulnerable, stay the fuck away from him. He will take complete advantage of you, especially if you're a younger person. I'm 42. He never tried to get over anything on me. All he did was tell me lies and isolate me from people. He never tried none of that heinous shit with me. Um, but yeah, this is why I wanted to do all this because, enough is enough. He's got to be stopped.
Thank you very much. I think I'm gonna wind it down. Is there anything else that any of you want to share?
I'm gonna drop. I just wanted to say thank you so much, Adina, for lending us your platform and
Of
letting
course.
us, address this issue. Like Tiff said, I feel like we all have a responsibility having the knowledge that we had and finding out, and so many people coming forward. And I mean, even now, with your help, with your platform, we were able to find so many other people that were able to also share their experience and clear their name as well. And that was our hope. We want to protect everybody within the community, especially because our main goal of all of this was to unite the Black and brown community, like to address things within our community. And the whole time behind the scenes, he is wreaking havoc on the same community, and taking money from us and emotionally damaging and abusing people. uh, Again, just a lot. And I appreciate everybody up here, and uh, I'm very proud of you guys for coming forward. I know this was hard for a lot of y'all. I
Yes,
appreciate y'all
100%.
so much.
100%. I'm also very proud of every single person who came up and shared their experience. That did take a lot of courage. Tiff, you wanted to say something.
Yeah, I'm gonna drop as well, but I did want to say one more thing. So I have a Discord channel, well, a server called Surviving Him, and it is mainly to offer support one another. Right now, I'm not sure if we will be accepting new people just for the simple fact that we've had a situation where we were actually infiltrated. We let someone in the server that we thought was going to be a support to people since this person knew of Jesus and claimed to have a ick about him. But what ended up happening, this individual hosted a live and it quickly got out of hand and some inappropriate things were done on her platform and it got out of hand. There was an argument on the server because we wanted to discuss it calmly like adults and there was no accountability or anything like that. And it got out of hand quickly. That's when one of the mods was misgendered. That was also when one of the other mods got doxxed. Um, and then also some of her buddies ended up getting an invite link into our Discord server and they grabbed a lot of screenshots. They held a live about us the next day and they made content about it also, I believe. So we're a little bit skittish about accepting new people. We've had to lock down channels that contained evidence, even though all the evidence was redacted. So, yeah, we're a little bit skittish about accepting new members, but anybody who DMs me and wants to join, it'll be taken into consideration and I will definitely discuss it amongst my mods and myself. And, if everyone is fine with it, then we can, send you an invite link. And that's just for the safety of everybody in the server. That is supposed to be a safe space with no judgment. It's not meant to do all that arguing and all that stuff. So, yeah, anyone who's interested can send me a DM.
Thank you very much, Tiff. Any last words? Anybody who wants to speak can definitely speak.
Yeah, I just wanted to say thank you, Athena. I know that you were not directly involved in this, but you allowing us to have this on your platform, I knew that this would be the best place to have this type of conversation because you do support women, you support, women of color and Black women especially, as well as non-men. So I appreciate you for affording us this space and just being such a good, gracious host. And yeah, thank you for having us. Thank you for the panelists and everybody who shared their stories. Y'all did your thing, and it's not hard. I mean, it's not easy to talk about, these types of things, especially when we've been vulnerable, when we feel like, we should have known better, or we should have done this or that, or listened to that little inner voice or whatever. We're human. We're gonna make missteps. The important part is that we make corrections, and that we learn lessons from these things and warn other people. So I'm glad that we were all able to come here and share our stories and actually prevent this harm, hopefully, from happening to some women and non-men in the future.
And thank you to you, by the way, Callie. I appreciate you for even reaching out, for even asking, for organizing this live. So I just wanted to give you your flowers, and I am so sorry for the shit that he did to you, and for the lies that he did to you, and also for how he manipulated you, and also was very abusive towards you, Callie. Right? So just wanted to give you your flowers at that. You didn't deserve any of that. And I appreciate you as well, and I'm proud of you too, for even speaking up about it and for standing up for yourself, and not only for yourself, but also for everybody else who was impacted by this. Um,
Before I
Ronnie,
head out, I'd
Michelle,
like to say thank you so much for having me. I appreciate the space and opportunity. You guys have a great day. Be safe out there. Make sure you stay hydrated and be warm.
exactly. Michelle, is there anything else that you wanted to say?
Um, I just want to say that I'm grateful that I know about it now so that I can, get as far away from him as possible. I know we've said like it's not my fault. Like Tiff has said, like that's what he wanted. He wanted us to be isolated, but it just like it's something that I'm gonna have to take some time to process because I am just yeah. So I will talk to some of you very soon.
100%. Elite, you requested. I don't know if you meant to request, but wanted to let you up to say any final words.
Yes, Covey. I wanted to thank you for providing a space where people can educate others. I just follow you. I have no idea about any of the history of this person on the screen, but as somebody who advocates for women, I just want to encourage everyone that spoke today that you're incredibly brave. I hope that in speaking out, you found a little bit of relief of pressure and stress. I believe every single victim that spoke today. And I just think that this is extremely educational for all people, regardless of race or gender, to see what the dangers are within social media spaces and within the mutual aid spaces. This has encouraged me to just be mindful. And just in final word, I really hope that there is peace for the victims. If anyone feels too overwhelmed regarding what happened today, I'm so open for you to DM me. I have a lot of information regarding resources, just as a friend. Thanks, Covey.
Thank you very much for that. Much appreciated, Elite. Appreciate you very much. Yes, that's one thing I wanted to tell you guys as well, 100%. When it comes to mutual aid, don't donate to people who are not transparent. That's just a tip I would give to everybody here. Do not donate to people who don't have a history of being transparent. Transparent meaning they don't have any footage to show of where the money landed. They don't have any screenshots to show them sending any money, right? That like basically whatever you are donating doesn't produce anything. And if you've noticed that there are people who you've donated to them, but they're not producing anything, they're not showing you footage, they're not showing you the people that they claim that they're donating to, sharing their experiences, they're not showing you any type of receipts, right? Don't trust these people, because there are way too many people who are trying to take advantage of the empathy, the compassion, the grace, and the good hearts of a lot of people who do want to help. Because in a lot of these spaces, we are in spaces where we're being educated on horrific atrocities and horrific things that are happening on a day-to-day basis, right? And when you are put in that position and it makes you feel very helpless, when somebody comes to you and tells you, hey, I have a way where of how you could help, you would definitely rush to help that person, right? And that is precisely why a lot of people tend to take advantage of a lot of people in these spaces, because they know that the people in these spaces most likely feel helpless one way or the other. I feel helpless a lot of the times with the topics that I talk about, with the issues that I deal with. I tend to feel very helpless too, right? So I understand where a lot of people are coming from when they just want to help. And so be very wary of people who want to take advantage of that and produce absolutely no receipts. Be wary about people who pressure you into donating too, right? People who pressure you into donating. People who try to manipulate you into donating. People who don't make you feel appreciated for donating. Because even if you donate $5, that is a lot. Again, with some of the initiatives that I highlight, by the way, $5 is existential for some people. And also, for people who maybe have to live paycheck to paycheck, $5 can be a lot of money to even donate. And if somebody is not making you feel appreciated, or they're not valuing you for even donating $5, let alone hundreds of dollars, that person's heart is not in the right place, by the way. Because even donating $1 is a lot, right? So, I just wanted to say, that's one thing I want you guys to be wary about. Also, another thing I want you to be wary about: never, ever provide private information to people on social media, regardless of how close you are to people. Never, ever share private information. There are people on this app that I have known for 4 years, 5 years, right? Or 4 years that don't know my private information. They don't know my address, right? So another tip is never ever share your private information or any way that could be used to locate you. Never share that. Another thing, if you have kids, do not post them on social media. Do not post them on social media, right? Because you do not know what type of creepy people are hanging out on social media and what they do with your kids' pictures. Now, the only reason I'm saying this, by the way, is not to shame anyone who came forward. None of the people who came on my panel and came forward, none of them did anything wrong. It was not their fault at all. They could not have known. What I'm trying to do with this is, moving forward, how to protect yourself in these spaces. Because social media is like the wild, wild west currently, right? It's a wild, wild west. There's a lack of protection for a lot of people. So I'm just trying to give you guys tips on how to continue protecting yourselves. Lastly, any person who declares, I protect black women, I protect women, that person is a fucking liar. I'm just telling you that right now. A person who has to declare that they protect people, they're a liar. Because if they genuinely are a good person and if they genuinely protect people, they don't have to declare it all the time. Their actions should be a testament. Their actions should be a testament to their values, right? But if they have to declare it all the time, I'm a good person, I'm a nice guy, I protect these people, I protect black women, I protect women of color, I protect this and that. If they have to consistently mention that, especially if they are men, I'm telling you, especially if they are men, and if they have to declare that and not let their actions show that, that person is a major red flag. Stay away from them. Lastly, listen to your gut instincts. Because your gut instincts do not lie. And if you are feeling off about some person, listen to it. There's a reason as to why you're feeling off. A good reason, by the way. Exactly. Good people don't have to say that they're good people. They just let their actions show and illustrate their values, right? They don't have to declare it all the time. Good people also don't bully you into supporting them. Good people also are not possessive over you. You guys know how many of my mutuals that I know that I consider good mutuals or good friends are like maybe mutuals or good friends with people that I don't like, that I have issues with? Do I say anything? Abso-fucking-lutely not. Do I have a right to say anything? Abso-fucking-lutely not. Because my friends and my mutuals are fucking adults, okay? Anybody who tries to control who you become friends with, who you associate with, as long as that other person is like not really actively harmful, right? That person who's being possessive over you and trying to make your decisions for you when you were an adult, that person is also 100% sus. Nobody should be possessive. And lastly, I need every woman and every femme to have the audacity of a mediocre man, okay? The audacity. Stop apologizing for taking up space. Stop apologizing for talking too long. This is also to me, by the way, because I tend to apologize a lot. Stop apologizing for any of these things, okay? Take up as much space as you want. Take up as much space as you want. Say whatever things that you want to say. Don't apologize for anything that you're saying. Okay? Work on that as well. That's what I'm actively working on as well. And don't be nice, exactly. Do not be nice. Don't be nice, right? But also, thank you guys so much for donating to Samhar, who's on my panel. I always have her on my panel. She's an Eritrean woman who has a toddler, 3-year-old toddler, who is currently stuck in Libya. So any donation that you make towards her is existential too, by the way. So for that particular reason, I appreciate all the people who gifted her, even if it's a rose. Thank you so much who gifted her as well. Thank you, Chai. Thank you to all the gifters, by the way. Appreciate all of y'all so very fucking much. But I'm going to be dropping some heart for now. Thank you guys so much. Some heart hafte. Thank you. One thing that I wanted to lastly say, by the way, oh, did you send it to Samhar, Shabia Hawaii? Oh, no, okay, thank you. One thing I wanted to say, doubly Callie, I appreciate y'all, doubly all the people who came forward. I'll always make space for people, by the way, who want to share their story, 100%. That's what it's all about. When we're reading these Epstein files about all these people who were predatory towards vulnerable people, whether it is men or women, we also have to try to take that into action within our day-to-day lives, right? So it's very important to act upon the things that we learn on as well. Yeah, I'm gonna end the live. Before I do end the live, you know what? Nothing. I'm not gonna talk about it now. I will probably try to talk about that tomorrow. Because there's a new statement that was released by Ethiopia with regards to Eritrea, which kind of distracted me a bit, by the way. I was reading that, but I'm going to discuss that tomorrow. Other than that, I appreciate y'all, to the people who came up and shared their stories. Drink something nice, some tea, eat something nice and warm, and put on something that is very nice, okay? Do something nice for yourself for now, and try to soothe yourself as well. Yeah, appreciate y'all. Love y'all so much. And bye. Have a good day. I'll see y'all tomorrow, 2 p.m. Eastern. I'll continue the Epstein files. 2 p.m. Eastern again tomorrow. We will proceed with the Epstein files. And then also I'll talk to y'all about the statement that Ethiopia released about Eritrea tomorrow too, because it looks like there might be an upcoming war / invasion, because they low-key, high-key, semi-declared a war in the statement. So I'll be talking about that tomorrow too. Love y'all, appreciate in the statement. So tomorrow too. Love y'all, appreciate tomorrow too. Love y'all, appreciate tomorrow too. Love y'all, appreciate tomorrow too. Love y'all, appreciate